Wow. Wow. That's incredible. Gary Keller playing the band. Look at that. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the 2021 Greater PA Regional Cultural Summit. If you're live on Facebook, welcome. What an exciting event, Michelle, right? This is like exciting. It's fun. And what better way to start off, if you don't mind, everyone, go in the chat box today. What are you grateful for? What do you want to praise? You woke up this morning excited about something. Maybe it's this event. Maybe it's something you got going on later. Whatever it is, throw it in the chat box. Let's get some energy going for today. And more important, let's have some fun. You're going to take notes. You're going to hear from some amazing people. And if you're on Facebook, let's use that hashtag pound GPA Cultural Summit 2021 so we can get some energy. And I'm here with a partner in crime. I don't even know, you got so many hats, Michelle. I don't even know, what do you even do? You do so many things for this region.
I'm just Michelle. So I'm just here to serve everybody in our region. And I'm just so excited for this event. It's my favorite event every year. This is the one that it means a lot, because not only are we celebrating our top performers for 2020, but we're also going to celebrate those of you who step up in other ways and just are true cultural icons for our company. And you are the heartbeat of our organization. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. I'm sorry we couldn't be in person. Hopefully next year we can all be together, giving each other high fives and hugs. But I think we've got an awesome lineup for everyone this morning.
Well, Michelle, I don't know about you. I think we should just jump right in. I mean, we got some guests here that they blew up the stage at Family Reunion. And I was just amazed as I read kind of a little bit more of their bio. I knew them from afar from our KWBRN family, but now that I got a chance to really read into what these amazing gentlemen have done is just incredible. So you ready to get started, Michelle, or no? Or should we wait a little bit, or should we tease them, or what?
No, I think that the guys from Coalition Partners Group, I think we just go right to them. I'm so excited. We had a chance to hang out with Keith and Harrison yesterday, and Ryan. So I think we just dive right in.
Well, let's do it. So Harrison Beecher,
The
Ryan
mission of
Butler. We're going to show a video right now. So let's check.
Coalition Properties Group is to be the bridge to our community for all things real estate, lifestyle, and wealth building. Basically, everything that can help folks overcome that hurdle of buying that first home is what we champion and love. And the opportunity to get in the door can be the difference for a lot of families between surviving and thriving. I got a Christmas painting from my mom that had the phrase, "We are our ancestors' wildest dreams." To be able to achieve the level of success, earn the income I've earned, built the business I've built, impact the number of people that I impact now, I know that is beyond my great-great-grandparents' wildest dreams. Isaiah first came to me back in 2017. The phrase that he said to me that always sticks in my head is that he wanted to be an outstanding father to his son, and that he wanted to open up opportunities to his community that were not open to him.
I was introduced to Harrison in 2017, and I told myself, hey, if I'm going to be in this business, I want to be next to somebody that's leading by example and opening doors for the community. Growing up, I've always been intrigued about real estate and just how it shapes communities. When I got into college, I was really studying about redlining, staring, and restricting access to capital to Black and brown communities that systemically put them at a disadvantage. I came across this quote that says, "To control your community, you must own your community." And at that point, I knew I was going to be a real estate professional. I decided to start studying for my real estate exam, and in that March, I was licensed. And through the midst of all of this, I was waiting for the arrival of my son, Isaiah. So that just gave me that much more motivation and purpose to fulfill my mission. Real estate has allowed me to develop a multifamily acquisitions firm and open up a nonprofit to give back to the community, and also put me in position to help my mom purchase her first home. The reason we started Unfair Advantage is to not only provide financial literacy to those that need it most, but it's also to provide a financial stability and independence, create that independence within the community. Once they have these skills, they can use them and actually provide for their families long term.
To see the work that he has put in not just growing a great business, but in himself, the self-discipline, the self-work, the self-growth, his commitment is showing in every side.
It's very important for real estate professionals and just real estate to be intentional on helping the community at hand, because it starts there first. It starts with the community, then real estate comes second.
The abundance mindset that is embodied at Keller Williams is something that I've appreciated from the first time I attended a mega camp back in 2014, and seeing just how much folks that have these big businesses and big lives chose to make a core part of their success and mission, carving some of it out and giving it back. When you choose to give back to your communities, you're supporting the next generation, making our profession better, making our communities better, and making our country better.
Wow, amazing. You know, not only Harrison, Keith, and Ryan, are you blowing the doors off with your production, you're changing lives, man. I mean, it's legacy stuff there. It's not just, you know, that production, you know, and that's what today's about, really. We're not just talking about like great production and volume and units. We're talking about changing like communities and really changing the world. So welcome, Ryan, Keith, and Harrison to the Greater PA Regional Cultural Summit. How are you?
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Ryan is always coming in hot in the morning. He's got that energy right out the gate.
Got my workout in. I'm ready. My child is up, you know, to get you going. I'm ready.
Good stuff, Ron.
Hey, listen, you know, I could sit here and tell a bio, but I would love to hear a little bit of, you know, each of you tell a little bit about yourself, and then maybe one can kind of dive into a little bit about your company.
Well, I can start. Again, Harrison Beecher. We're based here in Washington, D.C. Market Center number 650. Keller Williams Capital Properties. Grew up in the D.C. metro area. I've been licensed since 2008 and known that guy Ryan since 2004. And yeah, we came together in 2019, but I'll let Ryan and Keith introduce themselves.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Butler. So I guess if we're going in order, Harrison is the OG, the original real estate agent in this group, right? The long timer. And I, like you said, we've known each other since college. We started business together a really long time ago. And after even doing all those little businesses, it's just funny that we really came back full circle and started this amazing company we have right now. And I'm originally from Mississippi, and but I went to school in DC at Georgetown. So go Hoyas. Big East champions. We beat a lot of these teams that's probably on here today. And what's actually awesome about this is I'll lead into Keith James. I picked him up at a bar. Keith James can tell you the bar story.
Yeah. So I'm at a happy hour, and I guess Ryan was looking for a date, and we started chatting. He was out there prospecting at happy hours, which is kind of cool because that's how I built my business, going to happy hours and, you know, asking people, do they want to buy and sell? But we're at this bar, and I see this guy talking about real estate. I said, hey, I bought investment properties. I started buying real estate when I was 23 years old, and we started to chat. He said, you know, where are you from? Where are you from? I said, I'm from Mississippi. And Ryan says, I'm from Mississippi as well. And, you know, when you hear people say you're from Mississippi, I'm like, okay, let me really, you know, are your grandparents from Mississippi, or are you from Mississippi? And he said, I'm from Moorhead, Mississippi. And it's really called Moorhead, Mississippi. And I said, yeah, this guy's from Mississippi. And that's where my dad's side of the family is from, the Delta. That's the Delta down in Mississippi. And so, you know, we started talking about real estate and investing and things of that nature. And one thing I admire about Ryan is he would always be willing to teach and come from a place of contribution. And so I had a full-time job at this time. I was with 3M. And I was thinking about, you know, making that transition. And he kept saying, Keith, you should do this. You should do this. I'm like, I don't know. And I ended up, you know, making the transition part-time. And 6 months later, I made the transition full-time, which was great. And then, you know, here come Ryan. Hey, you got to meet this guy named Harrison Beecher. Now, Harrison is a legend, right? He's a legend in this community. And so I go to Harrison, to the meeting with Harrison, with a page full of notes and questions and things of that nature. And when you're coming from corporate America, a company like 3M, you're not really used to people coming from a place of contribution like that. And you're thinking like, hey, and the willingness to be open and sharing things of that nature. And so I'm really appreciative of these guys, and I'm so thankful for them.
Yeah, and one thing Keith didn't mention, we actually went to the same school at different times in Mississippi.
Yeah. Went to
So
the
very
same
close,
school.
very close.
And
Wow.
went to university as well. Shout out to the HBCUs out there. And shout out to Alpha Phi Alpha as well. I got to do that shout out as well.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I'm so honored, man. And, you know, it's amazing that the perfect storm happened. And then, you know, a little over 2 years, you guys sold 500 homes. I mean, that's a lot. So how about what have you guys accomplished in this short amount of time? You know, I know 500 home, but what else kind of has happened over those years with this combination of corporate and the OG and all that? What's transpired over the last 2.5 years with this company?
Yeah, I think we took. Harrison is going to tell. He's an amazing storytelling, but I'll start with kind of the Red Book, the Gary Keller Red Book, and it's think a million, make a million, keep a million, give a million, and we'll kind of let that tell our story as we go along. So,
I love that.
Mr. Beecher.
Amen for following the model, Ryan. Amen. You got Michelle clapping over there. Yeah.
And that is Ryan's role in Coalition as the glue that comes back to the model constantly and always checks us, our plans, the money we want to spend, the people we want to hire, the things we want to do. Is it in the model? That's the question all the time. And he'll ask us that question. So I'm grateful to have him as the team member that does that. So yeah, in addition to all those units, since we came together officially in 2019, the most powerful part to us is the way we've been able to empower both the agents that have joined us and joined our organization and our admin staff. And again, Ryan's space, we think about the different roles, and what makes a three-headed monster like this work is the different areas of expertise and where people focus. So again, with Keith being this amazing driver of sales and more natural attractor of people and referrals and opportunities than anyone I've ever met, Ryan is this beautiful operational mind and someone that thinks about investment and what we do next and beyond. And then me with the ability to tell stories, marketing, and make these industry connections work. It was just this perfect storm that also enabled that much production, but then also, you know, GCI and profitability, because in the midst of a market and a world kind of getting turned upside down in 2020, I started my whole thing in 2008 and 2009. So we already had a lean initial infrastructure from a really down market when I started. So following some of these initial kind of blueprints that I put together, and then working with Ryan, giving his iteration on it, and then Keith pouring his rocket fuel on it, and then adding the right other administrative people in. It's both units and GCI, and then the opportunity to take that GCI and invest it in other things like flips and multifamily. And another quick full circle story is that every man in my family actually graduated from Tuskegee University, where Keith attended. And I spent all my summers in Tuskegee as a kid. And then the multifamily acquisition that Ryan just completed in Augusta, Georgia, was actually where I was born and where my mother and father met before we moved up to Maryland when I was a little kid. And my dad actually looked up that address, Ryan. It was only a couple miles away from the apartment complex we lived in Augusta. So like, you know, talk about divine intervention, stuff all comes full circle. Like it makes your hair stand up on your shoulders, man. It's amazing.
It's incredible that the perfect storm that you guys have, you know your role, you follow the model, everyone has a role to play in this team, and it's just amazing how it's all played out. But the most amazing thing that I heard about this story is how you give back to your community. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that, because, you know, the story we started off with kind of shared a little bit of what you guys have been doing, but why is that so important to each of you?
Ryan, you want to go?
Yeah,
go.
sure. So I think it was for us, as far as why it's important, I think when we think about like how we want, what type of impact we wanted to make, right, on the world, just, you know, everybody's gotta head out one day, as my aunt says. You're gonna have to you have to kick the bucket. Yeah, head out one day. And so what kind of legacy do you want to leave? And when we thought about this, we thought that the two most impactful things that we could do would be to inspire people and create opportunities. So inspiration goes wide, right? And opportunities go deep. And so it was about creating, inspiring as many people as can through the opportunities we're providing to, right? So it's a lot of people really like our story. It's a great story. But in addition, you'll see the second iteration of Coalition, which lives through Isaiah, right? Like if we want to talk about the legacy of Coalition, he's the second level agent that's created his own niche, his own world. And through that was able to receive $10,000, I believe it was, from KWRI, right? So he created such an impact on his own, right? And we would argue, or we would hope to say like it was a little bit of influence from us as leaders as well, right? That he was able to even do his own thing and create something the next level of it. So I think that's great. But our goal is to eventually give 1 million, right? Like that's why I talked about the MREA model, right? And you got to think it, you got to make it, you got to keep it, and then you got to give it. And that's our goal. And we gave close to between how much we gave as well as how much we raised. It was almost 6 figures last year, right? As a team. So.
And another thing we talked about yesterday was vertically integrating. When you have a lot of unit production, right? And you get a lot of people and energy and eyes on your business and what you do, there's an opportunity and quite frankly, blessings that you can recirculate within your community. So we look at when we do events, whenever we fundraise, whatever we're doing, we're able to then point that energy back towards the communities where we live and work. And there's plenty of examples because Keith is a master at this, of like looking at the folks around him and saying like, how can I take care of my people? So even with our upcoming Mother's Day event, we're able to invest in our, small Black woman-owned businesses that are our clients and friends and give them some of their biggest orders ever and expose their products to our sphere and people. From food to chefs to a balloon backdrop that was one of our clients and friends from college businesses. By using this platform, and this is where I encourage realtors to think, when we sell and we do all the things that lead generation asks us to do when we're in front of people, why not vertically integrate and help uplift the people around you, right? And it's the same energy, this coalition, this collective energy is about getting people together, having a good time, getting your raving fans in a place where they can connect and build relationship and give back. And then that also grows your business along the way. That's really been at the core of our model and giving back. And we also have that 1% commitment of all of your net GCI to give back to community. But then we also ask our community to match it. So it's like, how can you multiply your efforts and do more with what you should do anyway, right? Just thinking critically and vertically integrating. It's been at the core of what we've done.
Yeah, I have goosebumps too, Michelle. I know you helped a lot of people. What's one of those stories that you kind of remember, or that one of your favorite ones that you can think of helping someone win?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So we had a client that I met at a house where I was showing another client. She came up to me and she said, "Oh my God, are you going to sell this house?" And it was two doors down from her mother's house. And I said, "Yeah, we're under contract already. But if you're looking to buy a house, I can definitely help you." So we met, and there's this program in DC that you can go through to buy houses. She said, "Keith, I want to be in Southeast DC. I grew up in Southeast DC, and that's where I want to live." And going through that program, quite frankly, she was denied an opportunity to buy a home at first due to some things that she had verbally said and some things that really wasn't true that was placed upon her. And so it was racially focused. I can't say that. It was definitely racially focused. And so with the opportunities that we have in this market and the relationship that we've built in this market, we were able to call people. We were able to make those phone calls up the food chain. And about 2 weeks after being denied, they granted her access to purchase the property. So she got a clear to close. And she had worked hard, single mom, with kids. And they were saying, "Hey, you have someone in the house living with you," which is a male figure, right? And it took me back to, things that were going on in the 60s and things we were fighting for back in our ancestors were fighting for, right? And we talk about being the bridge to our community for all things real estate, lifestyle, and wealth building. That's our North Star. That's what we're about. And we're gonna fight for you. We're gonna make sure you have the best memorable experience that you can have, and then create raving fans. And also with that opportunity, guess what? Her grandmother needed to sell a house within the next couple of weeks as well. So we got that opportunity to be on the front end to help her entire family, because grandmother passed away. It was passed down to the kids. Harris and I went in there to the listing appointment and really did an amazing job of making sure that family walked away with the means that they wanted to walk away with. And that was very important.
And that buyer came back to, the buyer of the property came back to us, and we sold it once they renovated the home. It was a $1 million property at that point. So it just kind of kept going, right?
And there's so many referrals, and it's funny because so many referrals have come from that one source. And when she closed on her home, she was in tears. I never thought I would be able to do this. I never, that's her words. I never thought I would be able to do this. And that was the reason I made that transition from corporate America, because, you know, just being fulfilled, right? Really impacting lives, really changing lives. And that was something that was, you know, near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
It also reminds me that you're taking a stand for what you believe in.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of times we sit back and just let things happen the way they happen. I mean, you guys are, you know, not only just changing lives. I mean, you're taking a stand for the way things used to be, right? That's not the way it's going to be. And you now have the influence to do it because you keep, breaking down those doors and those barriers. So I want to just thank you all for doing that, because not a lot of people do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
So where's this go from here? I mean, where do you see this thing going? I mean, you're giving us all goosebumps. So where's it go from here?
John, I just want to tell one quick little 30-second clip, okay?
You could do anything you want, Ryan.
The visionary. Go ahead, Ryan.
No.
Gave you full ring.
This is I always think of this as far as like something that really came through with a client. We had a Korean War vet, wife passed away, about to lose his home, 6 figures in back taxes owed between federal and government, and no one could sell his house. And we got it done. We helped him negotiate with the government, both the state and the federal, to get that reduced enough to sell home, leave with money, go off and continue his pension. He was like 90. He was like, I mean, he was super sharp, but like 90 some years old. So like, there's so many different ways that we've been able to kind of come in and help, and that it means something to us, right? On our ability to help us. That shows that, one, we are consummate professionals, but two, and that's the thing about the real estate community, we care. Like, we're in the people business. So if you don't care, it's going to be really tough for you to be successful, especially when more difficult opportunities arise. Yeah.
That's the power of privilege, right? Being able to take experience, being able to take all the leverage and what the money and units and attraction and eyes get you, and how do you translate it to help people? And guess what? On the way there, you can earn a pretty handsome living for yourself too. But if you take those gifts and recirculate them and give them, that's just the core of what we do, man. It's been great.
Yeah.
So what are we going to see from this group? What are we going to see, Ryan?
Yeah.
You're the visionary.
Where we going? What's next, right? I think a big part of what we want to do is to, and we've talked about this so much, realtors as an entity, as a group, right? We do really well with helping other people, and sometimes we don't do the best with helping ourselves. Mm-hmm. And in the end, we got to be able to help ourselves, because when you help yourself, you're also helping your family, right? And when we talk about generational wealth and intergenerational wealth, right? We do such a good job of building this business over here, but not transferring the profits of that business to wealth building. So a big part of our next steps is going to be teaching agents how to build wealth. I think that's a very important thing that we need to do a better job of, like within our community. And we kind of have to lead that charge, I believe. And that's going to create opportunities for agents who are so focused on their business to build wealth. We want to continue with the training and coaching that we're building as well. So Harrison is a great speaker. If anyone ever wants Harrison to come speak, Keith too, at your market centers or something, you should definitely reach out though.
So what's that look like if they do want to reach out to you guys? What are you guys doing? What do you offer? You want to either throw it in the chat box for them, or maybe give a little insight of what that looks like? Because I'm seeing the chat box blowing up about you guys, and they want you. So tell them how they get you.
Well, you should definitely follow us on social media at Coalition Properties on Instagram. And then you can reach out to each of us individually as well. One of the big things that I believe, and I think we believe as a group, and we just did this sample in Georgia. We bought a 68 unit apartment building in Georgia, and we were actually able to bring in other investors with us, a lot of which were either family or realtors, and like our friend realtors, right? So that, to us, that's a great opportunity for our real estate communities to continue to build wealth while they're still building their business, right? And now you got that compound effect of business and wealth building, right? And it's amazing.
And I want to say kudos to Ryan, because from the start of this project, which he led, the one thing that he spoke about and continue to communicate is that realtors, we focus on a lot of GCI, we focus on a lot of GCI, but let's talk about net profit. Let's talk about what type of investments we're making. Let's talk about, how we preach a lot about investing and, wealth building and generational wealth. You hear that term all the time, but keep this project. I really want realtors to come in and invest, because this is something that it's not about right now. What we're doing today is not about right now. It's about 5 years from now. You got to think about the future. This is a marathon, And so I want to say kudos to Ryan, because he, from the start of that project, he preached that. He really wanted realtors to come in and vendors to come in and be a part of that project.
It is the power of partnership, because my scary behind, I don't want to cut that check. That's what, look, I'm gonna stay in my little safe lane. I've been around the longest. I'm gonna just do this, and with everything, right? Even when we talking to team meetings every Tuesday, Ryan got an idea. My answer is no, I won't do that.
Nope.
But have a partnership and someone with that vision to look and just take a step up. Like, I think we have so much more opportunity that we let pass through our hands, right? And that we could find a way to think about participating in or bringing other people in, instead of just sprinting to give an opportunity to someone else. That's I think Ryan's gift, and the conversation we're continuing to build out. So definitely, we got all our contact info in there. Lots of training about sales, optimization, even diversity, equity, and inclusion in offices. We got some different talks on that. And I'm doing a clubhouse talk in a couple of weeks with an estate planning attorney to help people think bigger about the intergenerational transfer of wealth and how you can protect money when it goes from one to the next, because that's something in our communities is not talked about enough. And I don't think enough agents lead convos to their spheres about, because that's the type of education that will both help you and help your sphere and get you more opportunities in your world.
I'm going to bring my partner, Michelle, in for a little Q&A. So if you guys have any questions for these amazing men, put it in the Q&A chat box and or the chat box. But, Ryan, what all of you said is so important, because I'll tell you that, when I do wealth building talks, I'll say to someone, how many clients have you made wealthy? And they'll all raise their hands. And I'll say, are you wealthy? And they put their hands down. And that might be the saddest thing that for us realtors to hear and see, that they don't take advantage of the gift that they have, right? They understand, they know the numbers, they know the neighborhoods, but yet they let other people thrive when they're struggling. So we all need to change that. And I'm glad to have you three on this journey, because having folks like us out there running the charge on this, we know we're going to make change. So thank you. So Michelle, what do we got out there?
I do have a question from Valerie Presley in Wilhelmina, I can't talk, New Jersey.
Somewhere out there in New Jersey.
I know, I'm sorry. How much time did you take to work on your mission statement? And is that available somewhere that we can reflect on it?
Good one.
It's on our website.
Yeah.
So our website at coalitionpg.com. We'll put it in Harrison will type it in the box.
Yeah.
It took a while though.
It took a while. I think when we first met, my passion is to be the bridge to help people get to where they want to go. And I kind of related that back to, Harrison brought Ryan into the business, and Ryan brought myself into the business. And we want to be that for our clients, just being the bridge to help people. And that kind of stuck with us, as we were in that planning phase, which took a long time, of launching the company. And so we just came up with be the bridge, and Ryan added his, sauce on there, be the bridge to our community, for all things. That community word too was very big, because we all had our own individual successful businesses. And we always talk about, hey, you're the mayor of your community, right? You want to make sure your community have access to you for not only real estate, not just real estate, but for everything, all resources, kind of being that connector, being that plug, right? And then be the bridge to your community for all things real estate, lifestyle, and wealth building.
I love that. I have a client this is from Kim Phillips. I have a client who is settling his sister's estate. What can I share with them to help them keep the max proceeds from this transaction? That might need to be an off, but you guys can go ahead with that.
Yeah, I guess if it's on market versus off, right? Like, the biggest thing with that family we helped was, hoping to give them perspective, because a lot of people get really stressed in estate situations, and if they didn't plan correctly, folks will sprint at them and just try to give them fast money, and sometimes we know fast money is not the highest yield for the family. So I think it's just looking critically at all the opportunities available, but also seeing what you could do to actually help them partnership something beyond just that transaction. So I think it's slowing down a little bit, and just making sure that whatever opportunity they have is indeed either the highest yield or the best answer for their situation.
Yeah, I think, and to that point, it's not always about the maximizing the money. You definitely want to maximize money, but what do people want from real estate agents? We want the highest amount of money for the least amount of hassle, right? And the shortest amount of, or whatever amount of time someone wants, right? So that hassle piece within the states is probably more important than some of the other pieces, just a little bit more, because you got a whole bunch of people now, right? It's not usually just one person dealing with the estate. You got aunts and cousins and sons and daughters and stuff. So making it as much amount hassle free as possible is going to be really important in a transaction like that. So keep that in mind. Like, that's really important.
Well, we always do this as a tradition, and you guys are going to love this. So we have currently close to 600 people watching between Facebook and live participants who are watching the webinar. And so what we want all of our people out there who are watching the webinar to do right now is drop a line in the chat channel showing your appreciation and gratitude for these amazing men who have just come on and poured into us. And I can't think of a better way that we could have started today than having this interview. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. I know, look, it's gonna start rolling in. You're gonna make me cry, because I always do. But thank you so much. We really appreciate you all so much for being here with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We couldn't pick a better starter, because you guys are starting this sucker up. So thank you, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Great regional leadership, man. That's y'all recognize what you got in the greater PA region, man. So be grateful for these awesome leaders. Thank you for having us.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. Woo, Michelle.
It's so good.
I'm trying to breathe.
That was so good.
Wow.
I just, we had a chance to talk with those guys yesterday, and just the level of abundance that they come from is just so inspiring. So just makes me want to go out there and just be better. That's what I took away from
Oh my God, we think alike. We wear red together. We think alike. I was like, I just want to be better, right?
Yeah.
When I listen to them, I just want to be better.
That's right.
Like, and I don't know what that means. I just want to do better. So
Exactly.
well, listen, the chat box is blowing up, Michelle, as it should. But we wouldn't be having this cultural summit, if you think about it, if we didn't talk about what cultural means. I mean, we say culture, but when we say it, what do we mean, right? And we're lucky enough that we have a company that really laid out this belief system, right? Of what we should kind of like, these are on our walls in our offices. These are on little sticky notes. They're on our, they're in our bathroom on little poster boards. And I thought we should just at least acknowledge the Y4C2Ts. What do you think, Michelle?
I would love to. I think these are one of the reasons why I'm with Keller Williams is when I was interviewing for the role, the OP that hired me set out the Y4C2Ts and the 6 personal perspectives. And he said, if we can't agree on these, we can't agree to get in business with each other. And so these have been a foundational piece of why I'm even here.
Yeah, so let's just read them real quick. And maybe you can read them to yourself as I go through them, but win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Michelle, we love this one in the greater PA region. Teamwork, together, everyone achieves more.
That's right.
Trust starts with honesty. Our newest arrival, the E, equity, opportunities for all. And those gentlemen just showed what it's all about, right? Equity is all about. And success results through people. Don't that feel good as you say them, Michelle?
It does. And it's one of the, when you think about the Y4C2Ts, you think about how this applies to how you show up every day. And you can think about when you're having a good day or you're having a bad day, go through the Y4C2Ts and say, am I creating a win-win? Am I coming from a place of integrity? And I think that when you can do that, it really does helps you show up at the best possible way that you can.
So Michelle, I don't know who's new to our to this cultural summit, but every year you and I, we just share and go through the what is culture, right? And we go through this thing, and we do it every year. And it seems like I learned something new every year, and we've been doing it for a lot of years. So let's go through it and let everyone kind of know what is culture, right?
Let's do it.
So number one is making decisions that are right for the market center, regardless of the individual impact.
And number two is taking a stand on an issue that is not popular, but is right.
Number three, being the best co-op associate possible, always respecting other associates.
Number four, helping someone willingly and with a smile, even though you're busy.
Doing something right without wanting to be recognized or acknowledged for it.
Important one. Number six is paying a struggling associate's fees anonymously.
Ooh, I like that. Complimenting others regularly.
Being a part of the solution in the market center and not the problem.
Ooh. Number nine, taking the high road on confrontational issues on points of difference.
Handling an associate's business when personal or family illness occurs. We saw that happen a lot this year.
Oh man, we got so many great people in our market centers. Paying a struggling associate's tuition to a class that may impact the associate's productivity.
Living up to the covenant if you're on the ALC.
Representing the market center and the company in a positive way, always.
And in all ways, right? Smiling at others in the market center regularly.
Got to smile. Staying home if you are having a bad day. If you got a bad attitude, stay home.
Or stay home soon. Speaking without profanity.
That's a mo. Avoiding disparaging remarks about anyone.
Committing a random act of kindness every day.
Honoring the policies and protocol of the region regarding recruiting.
Giving 7 hugs a day, or maybe 7 elbow bumps.
Or virtual hugs, right?
Virtual hugs.
Not recruiting an associate from another KW market center.
Being willing to walk away from a transaction that compromises your principles.
Being considerate of the staff.
Paying your market center bills on time.
Not looking for loopholes in cap and royalty payments.
Responding to clients' calls and concerns in a timely manner.
Considering the other person's viewpoint before reacting.
Following the model.
Oh, we heard that today already. Being excited about saying, would you mind if my team leader called you?
Implementing the Keller Williams productivity systems.
Ooh, finally creating the budget you know you need for your business.
Not only learning, but living the Y4C2Ts.
And we just went over them. Putting God and family first and the business second. That's a big one.
That's a big one. Understanding that the higher purpose of business is to give, share, and care.
Building your level 1 profit share line to 15 as soon as possible.
Lead genning for 3 hours every day.
You brush your teeth, you lead gen, right? Every day. Using a monthly profit and loss statement to analyze your real estate business.
Hitting your monthly and annual production goals.
Profitability in your personal real estate business. And Michelle?
Be nice. Be nice. That doesn't cost anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we take it for granted, but just being nice to people nowadays in this crazy kind of different world that we're living in. I mean, how important is that, Michelle, right?
I think that it's a really important thing to consider, that you don't know what's going on inside of someone's world. And I think we're coming out of a time where a lot of people haven't had the reprieve of being with friends and family. As we start to come back out there, you might find that somebody's maybe a little off one day. Maybe they're a little bit, more quiet than they normally are. And I think just being nice and offering a hand and, when it's appropriate, giving a smile or a hug, and just being a nice person right now, I think is really, really important. And I know it's hard as well when there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, Michelle, among us today are individuals that these market centers selected who are joining the Keller Williams Cultural Army. How cool is that, right?
I love it.
That army of leaders and you know, it's the people that do things when no one's looking, right? That's what you think about. And they do it every day. And I don't know about you, Michelle, but I'm excited to kind of honor these folks.
Let's get going.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's do the
Our
first
cultural
25 cultural icons that were selected by our market centers. We're excited to celebrate you today.
So first from Allentown Market Center, Chris Troxel.
From the Atlantic County Market Center, Ricardo Belgrave. We're going to see a lot more about Ricardo.
From the Bluebell Market Center, Carla Myers.
And from the Brandywine Valley Market Center, James Wagner.
From Bucks County Central, Jeff Levine.
And from Bucks County South, Eileen McWilliams.
Burlington County Market Center, James Robinson.
And from Central Delaware, Hong Chow.
From Cherry Hill, Brittany Kaiser.
From Collegeville, Joe Grucky.
From Cumberland County Market Center, Lisa Luster.
From Delaware Beaches, Guy Widener Aharo, in memoriam.
Prayers to God. From the Devon Wayne, Claire Girton.
From Exton, Jackie Hauk.
From Harrisburg, Mike Braddock.
From our Harrisburg East Market Center, Shernette Blair.
From Horsham, Tara Garrison.
From our Jersey Shore Market Center, John Walton.
From Lancaster, Jeff Siebert.
From our Mainline Market Center, Sean Elstone.
From Media, Caitlin Carizzi.
From our Monmouth Ocean Market Center, Matthew Merritt.
From Montgomeryville, Joanne Montgomery.
And from our Morristown Market Center, Sam Lepore. Congratulations, everybody.
That's a great group of leaders there, man, right?
Amazing.
And we got some more after, right? The second half.
We're going to be celebrating our second half in just a little bit. John, look at these comments. You guys are so amazing. Everyone, just know you're so appreciated. These comments are just pouring in. You guys are incredible.
We're going to have like 10,000 comments in the chat box.
It's always my favorite thing when at the end of the cultural summit last year, I download all the chats and just see it all and really take it all in. It's so incredible. You guys are amazing.
And Michelle, these people have that leadership mindset, and they're just amazing. And without the cultural icons, we love the big producers, but without those unsung heroes, we have nothing. That's what our company's all about, right? Is those cultural icons. So this is one of my most favorite days of the year. So thank you all. You guys are awesome.
They're definitely our heartbeat. So our culture is based on production, and we have a really special treat for you today. I had a chance to interview the author of the 12-week year, Brian Moran, and I'm going to share a little bit of that interview with all of you today. The 12-week year is a book that was written about how to be a top producer and a new way of goal setting. And we're excited to share with you today. We're going to do a quick interview, and then we're going to have a really special treat for you afterwards. Good morning, everybody. I am here with Brian Moran, and Brian is the author of the book, The 12-Week Year. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Michelle.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate you taking the time to pour into our leaders and our agents about what I believe to be one of the best books I have read in a long time. It's very practical. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. And so I'm just very excited that I get a chance to chat with you today about the book and about you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to be here with you as well. It'll be fun.
I think it's going to be great. So I guess when I was reading the book, one of the very first things that I do when I pick a book off the shelf is I try to think, why did the author choose to write this book? Like, what was so important about this topic or this content that the author chose to have a labor of love and take a risk to spend time and energy into writing it? So why did you choose to write the 12-week year?
That's a great question. You know, our whole existence is to make a difference. I mean, our mission is to change lives. And so unlike some books, the 12-week year wasn't a book that Michael and I, Michael's the co-author, by the way, sat down and sort of conceived and wrote about. It was really just documenting what we were doing with our clients, what we had worked out in the field and figured out what worked and what didn't work. And saw that it was so powerful. We went, you know what, we got to create a book. And what was happening, to be honest, Michelle, is we were headed to a conference. We were going to be a vendor at a conference for leaders in the financial services industry. And so we were thinking about, you know, what kind of shiny stuff do we give out, right? And I had been thinking about writing a book, and I said to Michael, I said, let's just write a short format book, right? Let's leave out all the fluff. And so we wrote this book, which was the precursor to the 12-week year. It was called Periodization, 12 Weeks to Breakthrough.
Okay.
And we were going to self-publish. So that means we go down to Kinko's and we decide how many we're going to put together, right? And the big gamble was, do we print 50? Do we print 100? Because we didn't want to bring them home. So we printed 100, took them to this conference. I think we sold them for $10 a piece, gave a few out, you know, but we came back with zero. And from that, over the next year or so, we sold 100,000 copies of that book. And then Wiley, our publisher, came and said, hey, we want to publish that thing. So it gave us a chance to expand it a little bit. But here's the coolest part. We wrote that book in 12 weeks. It literally changed our business, changed our life.
Talk a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about why did you start the book off the way that you did?
Well, I think my experience and Michael's is too, that it's all, most of it's a mind game, right? Most of success is in your head. And whether you're playing sports or whether you're a business or whatever you're doing, right? Your mindset has everything to do with it. And so, you know, one of the things that was a pretty profound shift with the 12-week year is how we think about the year and what we think is important. Every organization we worked in, they were all chasing new ideas. They're reading stuff, they're finding stuff on the internet, they're finding, and there's this mindset almost like there's something missing for me. What I'm missing is this little secret sauce here or this technique over there that I don't know about, when in fact, our experience was if people just were more consistent with what they already know, they could live a much better life. They'd have better health, they'd have better relationships, they'd make a lot more money without learning anything new. And so we kind of figured out early on that it was all about the execution. And you'll hear us say lots, you know, it's not enough to know, you have to execute. People say knowledge is power. It's only powerful if you use it. And so everything we do to change lives is based on this notion that you've got to implement.
When you're thinking about going from knowing what you need to do to actually starting to implement and execute upon it, what advice would you give to somebody who says, I'm not a systems person? Like, I'm not somebody who does well when you put me in a box, or when you say that I have to do it this way. Like, what do you think about that? And what advice would you give to somebody who says, I don't follow systems well?
Yeah. So I'd say that you're going to struggle more than likely without systems, because the people that fight against systems probably need them more than the folks that don't fight against them. And systems are your friend, right? So we're back to mindset, how you think about that. My wife is super uber creative. Okay. And we've learned that creativity without structure is chaos. Creativity with structure is really powerful. And so the very people that tend to fight the structure are the people that could perhaps benefit from it most, because systems don't box you in. What systems allow you to do is put things in place that make it more routine so that the important work gets done. And it actually allows you more freedom, not less freedom. because you've got structures you can lean on. Otherwise, you're just jumping from one thing to the next. And you're just not as successful as you could be.
I love that. Well, as we go through the book and I got to chapter 4, one of the things that struck me is that you started talking about throwing out the annual plan and going to what you talk about your 12-week plan and the 12-week planning. So why throw out the whole yearly plan, and why do you think it's important to stick to a 12-week planning schedule?
Yeah, good question. As we were working with clients, we did probably what most of your listeners do, right? We helped them set annual goals and build annual plans and break them down quarterly and monthly and weekly. And, to be honest, we got good results, but we didn't feel like we were getting what they were capable of. And we realized it had to do with the annual environment. In January, December looks a long way off. And so it's easy to put things off. Even now, we're at the end of February when we're recording this. People couldn't wait for 2020 to be over, right? To get a fresh start. And yet most people, as we sit here today, are behind their goal, they're behind plan, and yet they were going to get off to a fast start. And that's not a criticism. That's just part and parcel with the annual environment. Because it seems like there's lots of time, it's easy to put things off. And then you're playing catch up. And you might catch up to the point where you hit the goal. But here's the key point. You cannot go back and recapture capacity you left on the table last week, last month, 3 months ago. And that's the difference between where people are performing and what they're capable of. It's not about working harder and longer. It's really about that consistency.
When you go, so as we go through the book, chapter 7, you start talking about the importance of yes and no. And you go into time blocking your time. So what's the important thing about yes and no that you could share with our audience today? And why was that concept so important that you made it such a pivotal piece of chapter 7?
Yeah, a couple thoughts around that. One is that if you can't say no, then your yes is kind of meaningless, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because if you say yes to everything, you're setting yourself up to really struggle and let people down and let yourself down. The other piece of that then is really being intentional about what you say yes to and what you say no to. Because here's the truth. There will always be more to do than you have time to do it. So you're going to have to say no to some things. What are those things? And let's not make it by default. If we take the day as it comes, then we're saying yes to the order it comes in, not necessarily based on what's most important or what's most productive. And so learning to be intentional with your yeses and your nos. What am I saying yes to? And I'm carving time out for that by saying no to everything else.
How do you decide what to say yes and what to say no to? And you create your plan, and creating the plan is one aspect of it, but I think that there's also an emotional thing that happens to a lot of us when we get that email or we get that phone call that is it could be a triggering thing or something that we are like, oh my gosh, I got to jump on this right away. And then feeling like there's this like whole push and pull of, I need to help this, but I also need to make sure that I'm getting the most important things done. Like, how have you done that, or how have you seen clients work through that?
Yeah, I think that's real, Michelle. And the key there is recognizing that I'm not trying to structure every minute of my day. There are things that I need margin in my day. I need margin in my day for things that are going to pop up, things that I'm going to have to deal with. So I'm not trying to spend, if I work 40 hours a week, I'm not trying to spend 40 hours working strategically, because that's never going to happen. But I do have times carved out to work strategically.
As we go on to the book, we get into chapter 16, and it starts talking about keeping score. And I loved about keeping score. So give me some thoughts on why you think it's so important to keep score. And then I'd love to hear some things or pitfalls that you see people falling into along keeping score category.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, because people either kind of love that or hate it, right? Some people are really into the analytics and the measurement, and some don't like it. And there's a lot of head trash we carry with us about measurement. And part of that is because at some point in life, measurement has been used to trigger some negative consequences for us, right? We were underperforming or something wasn't working. And so whether they were we just felt bad about that, or there was negative consequences that came along with that. It kind of gives us this notion that measurement's bad. And a lot of people talk about measurement as accountability, which is not what it is, because then it's used as a club when you don't perform. Measurement's just feedback.
Have you ever, when you're doing this and you start to get people into the rhythm of using the 12-week year as their execution strategy, where do you see people stumble the most when they're getting started? Like, what are some of the early pitfalls that people might fall into?
Yeah, great question. One is that they haven't created a tactical plan. Everybody's planned, but 12-week planning is very different in that most plans are conceptual. You can't execute concepts. You got to get tactical. So one of the things is they don't get granular enough. They don't get tactical in the plan, or the plan has just too much in it. The second area that if we have a good tactical plan and we start to use the system and the tools, the number one reason people drop off is because they're not doing what they said they needed to do.
Yeah. It kind of leads me to my final question that I have for you. What advice would you give somebody who would be thinking about getting their team on board with using this type of goal planning strategy?
Yeah, one is that it's incredibly effective with teams, because in order for a team to operate at their best, there are 3 underlying structures that need to be in place. And it doesn't matter what you value, whether you value customer innovation, whether you value service, or whatever it is. You need clarity of vision, clarity of goals, most importantly, clarity of action, expectation. The second is you need transparency with regard to, are we doing it or not? And the third is evidence, is it working? And so the 12-week year brings those structures into play. So as a leader, it from the get-go really causes you to lead differently, engages the team differently. But there can be pushback, because again, there's nowhere to hide. And so as a leader, you have to be bought into it. Where we've seen the 12-week year have its best results in teams is when the leader is, hey, this is the way we're operating. And we've used it with big teams, large teams, corporate teams. We've used it in smaller teams, like you're talking about. And as long as the leader's bought in, it's pretty effective. And so there's some sort of introductory phase with that. It might be getting the book for everybody, let them read it. And by the way, if they just read the first 64 pages, the first half of that book, that's plenty. And then talking about why, as a leader, you see this as important and why we're going to apply this. But it will have them, one of the keys to that is, as you walk that out, you're going to do some vision work with them. And our vision work doesn't start with the business. It starts with your personal life.
What has been your favorite time that you've seen a group really own the results that they're trying to go after? Do you have a favorite group that you've worked with, or do you have a favorite time where you've seen the 12-week year applied and you're like, wow, this was worth the time and the effort that we put forward to get this book published, because I see results like that, and that's why we did this?
Yeah, honestly, I get emails every day on that. One of the ones is a woman named Barbara. She started the 12-week year. She was actually a real estate agent. Started the 12-week year and found out she had terminal cancer. And where most people would abandon it, she said, what happened for her was that she realized she couldn't plan for a year or two because she didn't know. Chances are she wouldn't be here, but she could plan for 12 weeks. And she could make those 12 weeks really great. And so that's what she did. And we get all kinds of stories, but that for me was a super moving story, because the 12-week year made a difference for her in the last few months of her life. I mean, and she applied it. I don't know if it was almost another 12 months that she lived beyond that. But we met Barbara. We videoed her, her testimonial. We flew her to Chicago, and she's just an amazing woman. She's since passed. Her daughter's really sweet as well. And, but that's just one example. I mean, honestly, we're blessed in that thousands and thousands of examples like that, where people have just changed their business, changed their life. It's a great
always
thing.
For the stories and for the people that we serve, that we do the things
Yeah.
that we do, most of us. Well, Brian, it was such a pleasure chatting with you today about the 12-week year. I know that all of our cultural summit people are going to be very happy to hear this interview. So I'm going to end the recording for now, and then I'm going to turn it back over to the group.
Wow. Michelle, I tell you, I can't wait for this special treat you're going to share. But I had a bunch of notes, but knowledge is powerful only if you use it. So,
That's right. That's right.
woo. So what treat do you have for everybody on this call?
So as a special treat for everyone's hard work in 2020 and the way that everyone has shown up, we are going to be hosting a free of charge 12-week-year workshop with author Brian Moran on May the 19th. It's going to start from 9. It's going to go till about noon. We're going to drop the registration link for you in the chat channel. Everyone is invited. Again, it's an open event for everyone on the call today. We're just very happy that we can bring Brian and his expertise to you and offer this to everyone this year. So
I think our partner in crime, Amanda, is going to put in the chat channel so everyone can be part of that. And that's amazing. I mean, that word free is like, wow, because you could probably charge as much as you want to get that, that's like a game changer for your business, for your life. Highly recommend it. And man, that's awesome.
yeah,
So Michelle, do we got some more cultural icons to celebrate?
we've got some more icons, John. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's celebrate them. From Newark Market Center, we got Kelly Clark.
From our Newtown Market Center, we have Juliana Gainsberg.
From Northeast Philadelphia, Sarah Duncan.
From our Northampton County Market Center, Eileen Budd.
From Ocean County LBI, Victoria Trapp.
From Ocean Point, Alex Stone.
From Center City, Deidre Quinn.
From Philly South, Ming Yun Rivera.
From Pittsburgh East, Deanna Davis.
From Pittsburgh North, Elaine Shetler-Leben.
From Pittsburgh South, Gretchen Means.
From Pocono, Omar Ellen Bobby.
From Princeton, Stephanie Prettyman.
From Scranton, Robbinsville, Patricia Hogan.
Now from Scranton, Nicole Messia.
From State College, Ginny Frank.
From Swedesboro, Sue Ann Lighty.
From Toms River, Stacy Perello.
Our social equity leader, Tony Sadiq Lexton from Washington Township.
From the Westchester Market Center, Stephen Talon.
From Wilmington, Linda Nig.
From Wyomissing, Jack Evans.
From York, Kayla Sterling.
Congratulations, Kayla. Congratulations, everyone. Comments are amazing. And really, I mean, again, we are not the company we are without all of you.
They contribute so much. And I know we go through these slides fast, but if you don't know the stories, reach out to those cultural icon leaders inside your market center, or talk to your leadership. I mean, there's some amazing people in these market centers that just do some incredible things when no one's watching. So thank you, everyone. You are amazing.
John, each year we select 2 members of our cultural icon community to represent us at our regional international cultural summit that's held in Austin, Texas. These representatives are going to be honored at MegaCamp. And so what we do is everyone turns in their cultural icons, and then we take all of the names off and we go through and we select 2 cultural icons anonymously to represent our region at the international level. And I'm very proud to announce this year's cultural icons. Jim Wagner and Gretchen Means.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's awesome. So Michelle, why don't we chat with these 2? I would love to kind of share a quick story. if we start with Jim, Michelle, of what the Market Center wrote about him.
I'm trying to find them on the screen.
We'll find them.
They'll
We'll
get
find them. So as you find them, I'm going to read a little bit about Jim and what the Market Center wrote about him. This agent takes the time to make each person they are in contact with feel special. The agent's daughter, who works as an admin in our office, said it best. My dad just loves people so well. Remember, Michelle, we talked about being nice, right? He makes them feel heard, seen, cared for, and always looks out for those who might otherwise go unnoticed. This agent is always the first one to sign up for any charitable opportunity. Holiday gifts for the seniors, Red Day, money collections for agents in need, backpack drives for low-income families, food for food banks. The list goes on and on. Jim, you're just an incredible human being. And did we find Jim?
Not yet. I'll read Gretchen though.
Well, you read Gretchen and we'll find them.
We'll hopefully give them some time to pop on. So Gretchen's husband's name is Jack, and the Market Center shared, Gretchen and Jack's generosity and kindness continues with their elderly neighbor that they continue to care for. Their neighbor Bob was hit by a car, and with no family to help him, Gretchen and Jack stepped in to make sure he received proper treatment. Their act of kindness continued through the years, with Gretchen making sure Bob had food and clean laundry every day. Jack and Gretchen are investors and have several properties. One of the homes they purchased, they had plans to tear it down so that they could build a new home on the property for themselves. When the home was completed, they made plans to move into their brand new home. But at that time, they found out Bob could no longer live in his home because of the poor condition. So Gretchen and Jack offered their new home to Bob, in which Bob still resides today. They also made sure Bob's utilities and bills are paid every single month.
Wow. Well, you got Gretchen here. We'll find Jim, but Gretchen's here.
So incredible. So Gretchen, if you want to turn on your video so we can chat with you. How are you, friend?
Hi, Gretchen. Congratulations.
There, I had to unmute. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is quite an honor, so I appreciate it very much.
So Gretchen, I know you've played many roles in Keller Williams. You were at one time a team leader, you're a mega agent, you're an investor. I think as an investor, why did you make the decision to allow Bob to use your home or your investment? Like, I feel like that's a pretty awesome testimony of just who you are as a person, but what led to that decision? And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, sure. We refer to Bob as our 78-year-old son, and he was our next door neighbor for a while. And when his mom died, he became very manic, and there's no proper diagnosis, but I think that he comes under the umbrella of being somewhat autistic, and he doesn't have the minds that we have. He thinks very much like a child, and so I don't know, it was the right thing for us to do at the time, and we could do it, so we did.
I think that's incredible, and it's just an incredible testimony to who you and Jack are. And I know you've gone through some struggles this year with Jack getting a kidney transplant. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Jack he's had it was a congenital problem with his kidneys, and he injured himself about 3 years ago, and he was taking some over-the-counter medicine, and it resulted in total kidney failure for him. So for about 2.5 years, he was doing dialysis, and he actually came to family reunion and made arrangements for dialysis while he was there. So He's done dialysis a few places in the country. But it was great news when he has a first cousin who's just a couple weeks younger than he is, who stepped up to the plate to donate a kidney. And it was a wonderful, generous gift that she was willing to offer. But she wasn't a match. And so she agreed to go into the SWAP program. And the SWAP program is where she's willing to donate her kidney to someone other than Jack. And Jack in turn received a kidney from someone other than his cousin. And it was a wonderful thing to celebrate. And Jack's doing very well now. And I don't know how well he would have still been doing had he remained on dialysis, because that's not, a long-term solution, although it kept him alive for the time that he needed to have that gift. Also, the dialysis was a gift. So
Well, I am so incredibly grateful that you're part of our company, and the so many different ways that you've given back and just represent us. When we read the 40 points of culture earlier, I think I can go through just those 2 stories alone, Gretchen, and be like, check. Like, you truly are such an amazing representation of who we are as a company. So just thank you so much. And thank you for being here today.
yeah, I'm very proud to be part of Keller Williams. It was, the onion didn't peel back at first for me, so it was kind of a leap of faith to join Keller Williams. And the more that I was in Keller Williams and the onion kept peeling back, it just reaffirmed why I made the decision to leave my former broker. And I'm always proud to be part of the Keller Williams community. So thank you.
Gretchen, that you said we could do it, so we did it. It sounds so simple, but how many people actually do it? So you're amazing. Wow. Well, Michelle, we found our other international icon who's already has the label there, which is impressive. I don't even know how he did that so quick. But Jim, welcome to the call, man. We appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I was told 10:10 to call in.
You're on time.
You guys are faster than I am.
So Jim, why is company culture important to you and your business, Jim?
Company culture, why is it important to me? I came to Keller Williams because of agent focused structure and the people, but I've really stayed because of the culture. And KW's values say God, family, and business in that order. And having been here for about 7 years now, I'm pretty sure they're not just words. And that's been kind of the way I've tried to orient my life. Within the boundaries of treating people the way I would want to be treated, I get to play to win at Keller Williams. And I'm surrounded by tremendous people, everything from a friend doing just a side hustle to do 3 or 4 deals a year, to people building significant teams and doing dozens of transactions. And they live admirable lives. They're doing good in the world and growing successful businesses. And I get to be around that. And that's attractive and I think catalytic.
Yeah, Jim, I think, that behavior is contagious inside the market center.
Right.
As a market center leader, I could tell you that it's important to have people like you and Gretchen that kind of do those little things and just lead by example. Because we got all these, we got top agents and that sell a lot of homes, but we don't always get people that do those little things inside the market center that go unnoticed, kind of as it said in the letter that your market center wrote, like, you do the things that are unnoticed. So if you can give some advice to all these folks out there, what could they do that maybe to give them a little bit of a push that they could be more like a Jim Wagner inside the market center? What advice would you give them?
Well, I need to start any advice by saying there's a gal named Ashley Lubrano Caruso, and my kids put their heads together to write up something nice about me. And it makes me sound about 5 times better than I am. So having good people around you makes you sound pretty good. So I need to preface it on that. Just doing the right thing. I think we've heard a bunch of things. The three guys that were interviewed, to start the program were inspiring. And they have a wonderful team. They seem to appreciate each other. So appreciating people with differences, folks that are different than you frequently have different vantage point, different perspective that you actually need to hear. And then just doing the right thing over a long period of time. So consistency.
I love that, right? Doing the right things over a period of time. That's another quote. I got a couple quotes here, Michelle. Jim and Gretchen, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Keep changing lives and doing great things inside your market center. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Michelle, we got to get them some love in the chat box. What do you think?
I think so too. So guys, we have the same thing. Every single time we're going to have people come up, we want you to drop in the chat box your gratitude and appreciation for our international cultural icons, Gretchen Mean and Jim Wagner. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Well, Michelle, our region was founded, 20 years ago?
About 20 years ago, our region was founded. And it's kind of incredible to think about. We're on the precipice of hitting a really big milestone in our region as well.
There's a number, right? I don't know. What's that number? I forgot it already, I think.
It has a lot of zeros and it starts with a 1.
Wow. 10,000, like we're right there to 10,000 agents. And years ago, back 20 years ago, right, it was Keller who's this company, right? And Michelle, when you think about that, there are some people that have really just made that trail for us a little bit easier, right, over the time. And, when we think about that trail, we call these people pioneers, the Pioneer Circle. And we started in 2018. And this is groups of agents and leaders that were selected to represent the best of us. Those pioneers who came before us paved the way for the rest of us to have opportunities we have today. And I want to thank them. And I know you do, Michelle. Thank you so much for that. And each of the members have been with the KW Greater PA region for more than 15 years and have at least $50,000 earned in profit share. They are contributing members and still in great standings with our company today. So Michelle, I would love to welcome our new 2021 Pioneer Circle inductees.
Let's get going.
So from the Central Delaware Market Center, Doreen Irvin Polanci. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Doreen. From the Central Delaware Market Center, Dee Henderson Hayes.
They're partners, as you can
That's
see.
great.
Michael Beer from Bryn Mawr Market Center. Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations, Michael. You guys, pretty special to all of us, John. From our Pittsburgh East Market Center, Mike Netzel. Thank you for being you, and congratulations, and welcome to the Pioneer Circle.
And you're welcome, Mike. I'm in his downline. From Bluebell Market Center, congratulations to Cindy Wadsworth.
Congratulations, Cindy. From the Bluebell Market Center, Ron Young.
Congratulations, Ron.
Always
Look
such
at
a
that
great
smile.
smile on his face, honestly. He's so learning based. I met Ron very early on in my career with the region. Him and his wife, Carol, were always at our events and just very helpful.
Great smile, right? From the Bluebell Market Center, Carol Young. Wow. Names seem familiar.
We appreciate everything that you do, Carol. Thank you so much. Jane Maslowski from the Bluebell Market Center. Bluebell representing today.
Wow. A lot of leaders came in there. From Pittsburgh South, we know you, Karen Marshall, out there, our former OP. Karen Marshall, congratulations.
Congratulations, Karen. Karen's still a luxury member with our market center out there in Pittsburgh, still driving it forward. From the Pittsburgh South Market Center, we also have Marjorie Kaplan. Congratulations, Marjorie, and welcome to the Pioneer Circle.
Our OP, Gary Siegel from Bucks County Central. Michael Beer told me that he's having more fun than he ever has being an OP. So congratulations, Gary Siegel.
Gary Siegel is also one of the top profit share earners in our entire company. From the Bucks County Central Market Center, Tom McFarland.
Congratulations, Tom. Congratulations to all the winners, Michelle.
So as we transition into the next portion of the day, we have a really special interview. John, do you want to talk to us a little bit about Preston Brown and who he was and why we decided to interview him and bring him on today?
Yeah, you know, Michelle, I grew up in Southern New Jersey, and, you know, I thought about, you know, kind of what those coalition group members were kind of sharing is, you know, when you think about doing great things in your business, but are you doing great things in your community, right? And I was watching a football game. I don't know, it was a playoff game, probably, what was it, last year sometime. It was like a playoff game. And at halftime, I seen this NFL films, like, you know, they always have like those inspirational moments. And I was like, that's South Jersey. You know, I was like, that's like right up the street from our market center. And I was just so touched that I actually inboxed him and said, hey, man, you're doing amazing things. Thank you. Just like today, we were inspired by the coalition group. I was just inspired and I was like, I need to be better. I need to do better. And I want to be around young men like that are just doing things different than just the status quo, right? That we all do. We go to work, we go home, whatever, but they just do that little extra stuff. So, you know, today really, you know, sharing this inspiring story of this young man going back to a very difficult situation, because I don't know if anybody knows Camden, New Jersey, but it's one of the most dangerous cities in America, 9 square miles. And, you know, he grew up there and actually went back there to work and to give back to that community and change a lot of young men's lives. So I was just really inspired. And I thought, Michelle, that maybe we can share the video of me and Preston, and you'll see a little bit of his clip that was aired on the NFL Films, and you can Google it and see the whole thing, and then a little interview, and then we can come back and maybe give him a little bit of praise after that, Michelle.
I would love that. All right, let's show the video.
If you are looking for the easy way out, take off your helmet, hand it to me, I will shake your hand and wish you well. This is not the place for the easy way.
I mean, I've been an East Camden kid, born and bred my whole life. I mean, in Camden, it's tough, right? Take my situation. My father, he was a football star at Camden High. Every time he came around, we were like the happiest kids in the world. And then we just wouldn't see him again. You know, my mom became a user, so I seen all the biggest drug dealers come in and out of my house. My sister had a baby at 17. My brother did like 11 years in prison. My younger brother was murdered. We just one family. It's just multiple families dealing with more or worse.
In a normal year at Woodrow Wilson High School, resources are few, and trying to compete is tough. After COVID struck, hitting Camden harder than most any other area in the state, it became almost impossible. But if the players are searching for inspiration, they need to look no further than their head coach.
My mother was what you call the cook-up lady in the hood. So she was the woman who transitioned powder form cocaine to crack for drug dealers. If you ever seen New Jack City, that scene, I saw it so many times just in my own kitchen. Well, I knew it wasn't gonna be my life because my mom told me it wasn't. Your ass is going to school, you're gonna get an education, you're gonna go to college. Make it out of Camden, leave, and don't ever come back.
I remember being 11 years old. I had no lights in the house. We was running a lamp to the neighbor's house just so we can see at night, just to do homework. And I remember one day my mom couldn't afford to buy me 6 composition notebooks, and the teacher asked me why didn't I have it. So I gave it a reply my mom gave. I can't afford that. And my teacher said, well, you know what, Preston Brown, you're gonna be dead or in jail before you're 18 years old. I launched a chair across the room. I was the kid that had the bad attitude, that was angry, that was upset, that I would fight people at the drop of a dime. And I found a game of football. A drug dealer on my corner was like, yo, man, you got some skills. I'm gonna sign you up for football out in PYAA. Don't tell them you from Camden or they're not gonna let you play. Because they stopped letting Camden kids play out there because some of them was causing trouble. They were starting fights and stuff. Get out there, everybody loves me. So this dude that was taking me every day to practice because he sold drugs right in front of my house, he got locked up. And I was like, damn, how am I gonna get there? And I remember the coach, Coach Rob Davis. He was like, hey son, I gotta talk to you. And I just walked away from him. I just started walking to the corner with all my stuff on, like, it's over. They found out.
I said, I tell you what. I said, I'll give you a ride to practice. I said, you have to be on this corner at this particular time because I'm not going to go down the street to your house. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to do all that.
I had like this overwhelming like thing of joy, like, wow. I thought it was about to be over for me.
And so he was on that corner every day. Never had to wait. He was on that corner every day. And we've been together ever since.
Preston Brown became a football star at Woodrow Wilson High School and graduated second in his class with a 1,300 SAT score.
So I had like a full ride to like 7 Ivy League schools, like Stanford, Notre Dame, like all these schools was recruiting me. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna go far away. I ain't never coming back.
Brown went to Tulane from 2003 to 2007. He was a star student, an all-conference receiver, and team captain. He was invited to camp with both the Jets and the Bills, but did not make the roster. He played with several startup leagues, and in 2009, his last stop was the UFL. His offensive coordinator was former receiving great and longtime coach, Wes Chandler.
I'm sitting down with Wes. I was like, man, I just need to know something. I said, bro, I've been chasing this dream for like 4.5, like almost 5 years. Do you think I have what it takes to play and be like a professional at this position? He said, absolutely 100%. He said, I don't know if that's what God has in store for you. He was like, but I do know this.
Somebody make a play, please.
You picked this offense up better than guys that I coached in it for 6-7 years. Rechannel that energy and take everything I taught you and go teach it to some young dudes back home.
In 2012, Woodrow Wilson football went 0-10, and the city of Camden hit bottom 2.
It was also a time where the K-12 educational system was listed in the bottom 1% of the entire state of New Jersey.
We were recognized as the #1 most dangerous city, the #1 for the highest violent crime, the #1 for poverty, all the #1s that no one wants to be recognized for.
It compelled me to say, who the hell is gonna be the change? Who's gonna make the change happen? Like, it gotta be me.
In 2015, Brown was named Woodrow Wilson head coach.
I was making sure everybody was in academic standing. I was also making sure that we was running the nutrition program right. I was paying for breakfast like $200 every Saturday. I was making sure that I was in the weight room, everybody was there on time. Daylight saving times hit, you only getting maybe 45 minutes of practice time. We didn't have no lights.
Coach Brown means a lot to me. He's the one that's put me in a position to succeed.
Learned so much from him. You know, every day in practice, there's always something new to learn.
Football is like more than a sport. It just teaches me about life and me growing.
I remember making a Facebook post saying that one of the ultimate fulfillments in my life is to have the opportunity to lead my alma mater to a championship. And some people put like LOL, like this team's been so bad, like you talking championship? I'm like, no, we're gonna win the championship and we're gonna do it in a way that nobody ever expected us to do it. And the day I got this job, I told the team that we was gonna host this trophy at one point in time. It took us 4 years, but you came and sealed the deal.
Woodrow Wilson was champs in 2018 and 2019.
Best feeling ever. best feeling ever. I just remember Coach Preston just celebrating, splashing water everywhere. It just felt so good.
There are dudes that I grew up with that were on that original Facebook post that are Wilson alumni that come to every single game. And then what they say? Man, bro, I don't know how you did it.
For Preston coming back, for being here, for showing the young men of Camden that he was able to succeed here, not only for the young men who play, are they enthused, seeing a role model in him? I think it's for young people in general in Camden.
You know, historically, parents would tell their children, leave this city. Now it's a different story. You guys have a future, and you are the future, and you're part of the Camden Renaissance. And now we're celebrating a lot of victories.
Graduation rates have improved. Crime has gone down, and new businesses have arrived, trying to be winners too.
We want everybody to be champions. That's the mentality that we're trying to push out into the community.
Hey, Preston, welcome to the 2021 Greater PA Cultural Summit, man. I'm glad to have you today. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, man. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I tell you, I was so inspired by watching your video that was aired on the playoff game from NFL Films that highlighted the Camden football team and you and your story. It really inspired me to do better. So I'd love to maybe just share kind of a little bit about your story and even how you even got to Woodrow Wilson.
Man, I would appreciate that, man. You know, again, one of our, you know, I thank NFL Films a lot for taking the time, especially during COVID, to really, you know, take a small snippet of what we, you know, have to endure in our everyday lives, you know, trying to bridge the gap from, you know, young man to manhood and going out to be generous and prosperous men in this world. And so, you know, I really appreciated them like getting it out to a broader audience, like around the world. So, you know, we always try to inspire other people while continue to uplift ourselves. So yeah, man, again, I'm 100% appreciative to be here and, you know, talk about, you know, some of my journey and in hopes that it gives somebody, you know, some light and, you know, encouragement along their way.
You shared something, you know, you grew up in East Camden and your dad wasn't around and your mom was, I think you said, was actually cooking up the stuff. And I know I was a state trooper, so I know a little bit about the Camden. I've been there, and a lot of people don't know, for 9 square miles is one of the most dangerous. It was one of the most dangerous cities in America. So how was that growing up for you?
You know, Camden's a tale of two cities, man. You know, you have, you know, prosperous downtown, you know, for since Camden's inception, right? We had the Woolworths, we had the drive-in movie theaters, you got Campbell Soup, you got the transportation center, and all the big business that's booming down there, right? And then in small pockets throughout the city, you got the city unseen, right? So I grew up in the city unseen. My father was a football star at Camden High. I'm one of 6 kids. 5 of them my parents had together. But, you know, me and my dad, we never even played catch. So, you know, me, my older brother, he went off to University of North Carolina and played college football. I had another brother that played basketball at Drew. But these are the basic things that some of us take for granted, like the opportunity to just shoot the ball with your kid or play catch. Everybody's impoverished, right? Everybody's struggling. My mom never made more than $10 an hour, ever. But what she gave us was a lifetime of nurturing, right? The ability to, you know, my mother's name was Hope, right? And so, you know, my mother's deceased. She passed 7 months after my dad. And so, you know, her acronym is hospitality on purpose every day, right? And so I wear that with me everywhere that I go because she was the toughest person I knew.
I love that. And you know, that's impressive because, you know, it's, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? You said at the beginning of the video, it says, if you're looking for an easy way out, this is not the place for you. You know, you told the kids right off the bat, like, this ain't the easy way out here on this team. Tell me about that.
So I start the messaging off every year with the same thing, right? And it's always around the difficult things we do immediately, right? The impossible takes us a second longer. So I'm not looking for guys who are comfortable just being pretty good or mediocre, right? The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little bit of extra. So I always tell those guys, like, hey, this will not be the kind of fun and excitement that you thought it was going to be, right? But it'll be the best time of your life, right? And so guys are like, wait, what are you talking about? This won't be easy, right? Everybody wants to look on Friday night and see guys catching touchdowns, right? But you're going to have to catch about 5,000 of those in practice just to get about 10 in games, right? But 10 touchdowns in high school football will make you all South Jersey, and you'll probably be all state, right? 15 or 20 will make you an All-American, right? This is evidence-based. So I'm like, hey, how do you get there? You got to do more than everybody else. How do you do more than everybody else? Assume everybody else is doing more than what you're doing right now, right? So if 2 hours is a scheduled practice, just doing the practice is not extra, right? Doing extra is contagious, right? Think about the business world, right? Getting one real estate deal was like the start of it, but it was never like the end goal, right? Getting to the finish line is not the end goal. It's crossing it and then figuring out how to help other people keep crossing it. And that's the messaging, like constantly. Like, I would never lose respect for kids who say, like, this is way too much. I can't handle this, right? But I will also tell them and their families that you cannot be a part of this team if you're unwilling, right? I always say, Coach Preston has favorites. Yes, I do. My favorite kind of guy is the kids that do everything we ask them to do and never complain for the greater good of the team, right? Because this is the ultimate team sport. And then we all get to enjoy the I and win at the end, right? So yes, there's an I and win, but the T and together is what we need to get the I and win in football.
I love that your favorite are the people that do what they're supposed to do. I hope all our leaders in the greater PA region hear that, because my favorite is the leaders that do what they're supposed to do, right?
Absolutely.
Any team, right? Because that's how you win. If everyone's doing what they're supposed to do, right? To close out a couple things, the kids that you have some kids that have some rough lives like you experienced. How do you kind of like keep them on the right, on the straight and narrow, knowing that, they have to go home to their situations and they come to you? Like, how's that go for you?
It's a battle, right? I'm married. I have 3 children. I'm heavily involved. So I bring my family a part of the engagement so that they see what being a father looks like. They see what balance and because I'm like, listen, I'm so committed to your success that I'm going to bring my children here to practice, right? To be a part of this so that I don't have an excuse. So therefore you can't make one, right? I'm living proof of the barriers being stacked against you. And I don't know your situation, but I know tough situations, right? And so if we stay consistent, so the thing that we try to pride ourselves on doing is removing their thoughts from being in that environment, right? How do we do that? We overwhelm their time. Study hall, community service, football, workouts, college tours and college visits, right? So now you really only go into that environment to lay your head down and wake up and be excited to branch out and go to different places. Is that easy? Oh, no. It's been a rough journey, right? It's been extremely hard, very difficult. And people are seeing the end product, but, we buried 5 kids. Wow. We buried 5 players.
Wow.
In 6 years, we buried 5 players, right? Each one of those kids had intimate moments like with me and my family, right? I love them just like my own kids.
I couldn't even imagine that, you know, and especially that you're fighting for them every day, and to know that you know, that they didn't make it, you know, because you could have been that kid.
Right. I could have. My younger brother was murdered at 20. My youngest brother is murdered in Camden at 20, you know, shot in his head, you know, sitting in his car, shot in the head, 20 years old, life gone, future gone, the whole shebang. So I know that hurt and pain, right? And I see it, and because I see it, the feeling inside of me, like, it's very hurtful, right? And so, yeah, we've pushed more guys out than we lost, but the loss is like, it's so painful. And some young kids have been a part of the commitment with all 5 of those kids who've been killed, right? And so you're like, man, I shouldn't be 17 knowing 5 people my age or a few years older that's been murdered, right? These are dudes we eat pizza with, we walk to the store, split $1 to get water ice with. And, you know.
You were, so this is a group of a bunch of realtors on this call. And, you know, when you think about like this, like business, right? When you think about all that you've learned through all your trials and errors, through life, through college, and now coaching, like what, because you said about business too, you said there's some parallels. What do you think something that really like you've learned through all this journey for you that could maybe resonate with some of those folks out there when you think about all the stuff you've been through?
Well, when I think about all the things that I've been through, and when it comes to business, right? When I break down the acronym, well, when I break down the word attitude, right, and I put a numerical value next to each letter, that equals 100%, right? Take every letter and write it down with its numerical value on the alphabet. In the word attitude, you'll get 100. So I always tell everybody, check your attitude at the door, because you can't show up and give 99, right? Go find the other 1%, right? Set aside whatever you have, right? And that takes a lot of fortitude, a lot of mental toughness, right? And so in business, right, especially when you're trying to like get that right deal done, right? No deal is right if you're not right here, right? If you're not right here and here, then the deal is never going to be right. It could be for more money than you ever seen, but the deal is not right, right? So get this right here, and for all the leaders that are leading teams, right? You have to step out on the forefront first, right? So what I do is I'm the guy that takes those first 10 extra sprints after practice every day, whether anybody on the team decides to join me or not, because I'm the coach, right? And so if you're leading, whatever you want to do, me being a member in education for so long, you have to model and exemplar the behavior that you want other people to do it, right? So people will say, hey, John, what do you think about yourself? You say, oh, yeah, I'm a great guy, right? The flip side of that is the people around you, will they echo the same message about you that you're saying about yourself? That's when you know transformation is happening and people are growing. That's amongst your team, right? So in business, you may think whatever about yourself, but if the people around you can't see what you think you see in yourself, then you have to self-reflect and change it.
So Preston, I'm gonna leave you with this. You inspired me through your stories, and my market center, Keller Williams Washington Township, is going to donate $1,000 to your football program. And I also had a friend in the Cherry Hill Market Center, George Denny, who also said he's going to match that 1,000. So we want to definitely give you some inspiration and help on your journey with these young men. And I tell you what, you're an incredible human being. And anything we can do here in the Keller Williams family for you, please reach out. You know where to find me now.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate that so much, man. I thank you guys on behalf of myself, the East Camden community, all the Tiger Nation. We couldn't be more than happy and proud of, the message is getting out, you guys' willingness to like help support us in any way possible. I greatly appreciate it, on behalf of myself and the entire team.
Hey, thank you. And we're gonna do that mentorship for them young men, and we're gonna get together and spend some time together. But thanks for your time and have a great day, man.
You too, man. Thank you.
The future bright.
I have 10 scholarship offers: Texas A&M, Maryland, Rutgers, Virginia Tech, West Virginia.
Texas A&M, Penn State, Maryland,
Florida, Florida State, South Carolina, North Carolina. I just love seeing the look on those young kids' faces and the parents on that
signing day, feeling the way that my mom felt, knowing that you may not have the resources, financially to do everything right now, but your child's gonna be able to go and get a free education and be like a great, productive citizen in life. Now I could be anywhere in the world working, doing whatever I wanted to do. My Tulane education afforded me that opportunity. But I really understand what my purpose is, and it's with young people.
Ooh, man. I will tell you, for those of you that seen that, he's a great young man. Almost 1,400 SAT. And don't worry, he's getting his license, and he's going to be buying properties in his community, and he's got a partner here. So don't try to take him, you guys. But no, he's an amazing human being, Michelle. And looks like he's going to have some money for that school, because you guys, I don't know if you know this, but their facilities are not that nice. And those kids don't eat breakfast before games. So he pays for it out of his own pocket, and he's still trying to get his money and his life together for his family. So I know I see there's a lot of people that want to participate, and I think Amanda or one of our team members will put how you can participate in the chat box. But he's an amazing man. And Michelle, I wanted to let them share some ahas in the chat box. He would be here, but he's teaching right now. He said he had to teach. He has a class until like 11:30. But the aha I had, Michelle, was he said 5,000 catches at practice so you can get 10 in the game. That, and I was thinking like about our lead gen, how many practices do we take to get that one customer, or how many, if you're a leader, how many calls do you make to get that great team leader or that great MCA? And then the one thing that really hit home, and I seen you kind of tearing up too, is that he had to bury 6 young men. That's a lot to bear as a coach, for what he's getting paid for, to bear that and still go to work and have to see that and live that. So I don't know. What do you think, Michelle? What were you feeling as you heard that?
Well, there's a couple of things. The first was, he said, this isn't gonna feel like what you think it's gonna feel like, right? Like it's, you think you're going to be on this stage, this whole big spotlight when you score your touchdown or all like that. But that's not what this is, right? This is hard work. And if you're not willing to do the hard work, then, it's not going to work. You're not going to work here. And for me, as a mom of a 17-year-old, I can't even imagine what he's gone through.
Yeah. So, the one thing I'll tell you is, there's people like that really make you, as the gentleman we had earlier, that make you want to be better. Yep. And damn, Preston's one of them. It just makes you want to just be a better human being. So let's see in the chat box what they're saying, Michelle, because I know there's a lot. So what do we got in the chat box?
I loved a lot of people resonate. And I texted John while we were watching the whole thing again, about the attitude equals 100%. So Pam Moyer, Usha Patel, who leads our Keller Williams Kids King community. And we have a Quantum Leap class coming up that the principles that Preston was talking about are very similar to the principles that we teach in Quantum Leap. And we have a class coming up. So I'm sure Usha will drop the registration link, or Amanda can drop the registration link for us in the chat channel, but that's another incredible way to give back. We've got a lot of people who are matching. I know the Wilmington Market Center will also match your $1,000 donation, John. So I think just this morning alone, we've probably raised in the chat channel $15,000 to $20,000 for Preston and his team. And we've got Inspiration is going to watch it. A lot of people are going to watch it for a second time. So inspiring. A lot of people asking for how do they contribute, and just a lot of really good inspirations. Wow, people are really resonating with the message. And John, I just want to give kudos to you for reaching out to him. I mean, you're watching a playoff game, you see this, and you took the initiative to reach out to Preston and really push through to get to know him. And the interview that you did was so incredible. Just the way that you allowed him to tell his story. Like, you did an amazing job with that interview.
Thank you. And Missy, I know you're out there, our partner, Missy. Me and her are texting him. He's in the classroom. Let's tell him how much money that we see he raised for his school. We might be able to he's trying to get a scoreboard because it's all beat up. I think we might be able to, I might have to throw a Keller Williams sign on that sucker, but we're gonna get a Keller Williams scoreboard in Camden, New Jersey. So that's awesome. So Michelle, thank you for that. And I will say that the one thing about Keller Williams is the company, because we're about culture, it just makes you be better than you are yesterday, right? And that's all I think we all can do is, who cares about what we did in the past? If we could just be better than we were today, tomorrow, then we win. So, and that's what Preston taught me is, listen, you might have not did all this stuff years ago, but we can help now, he can help now. And I think us as leaders can do the same. So inspiring thing. I'm sure we're going to see more from Preston, Michelle. So
I think so. There's a lot of people who are saying Red Day fundraiser for Preston in the future. Carol Warren shared mindset. Don't allow negativity or your environment to distract you or pull you under. Keep your mind occupied and positive in production. So that's some really good stuff. Some people are donating $25 per closing towards.
So I'm going to share this, Michelle. He just texted me and Missy. We just told him how and please put in the chat box how you feel, and Preston will see it because we're going to try to get those chat box praises and all that stuff back to him. But he says, I know my parents are in heaven and would be proud, and I have tears of joy in my heart right now. So KW family, you did it again. You're changing lives virtually. So how amazing.
And we will update the regional Red Day fundraiser to include the Woodrow Wilson community as well. So, and Preston's thing. So we'll make sure to make that update on our Red Day 5K that we're going to do virtually so that you guys can choose that as an option.
Wow. Listen, man, Michelle, this has been amazing. And we still have our keynote later today that's coming up after we celebrate our amazing agents, right? I mean, we got incredible performers in this region, and some of these people, in this new COVID era, have figured out a way to just do amazing things. Michelle, we talked to the top 100, and they're breaking records on records, and they're doing amazing things. They're hiring people. I mean, just incredible what our associates have done, and we wouldn't be right by not honoring them today. So what do you think about honoring some of our top performers in the greater PA region, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, this past year has brought so many challenges. I mean, going from shutdown to opening up to listing inventory shortages to all of the things. And this year you have all inspired us to keep going and to keep persevering through all of the unseen challenges that 2020 brought us and we're continuing to deal with today. And, I think that one of the things that is really inspiring about what happened with our top performers last year is that they didn't give up and they kept moving forward. So I'm really excited to celebrate our top performers today, John. You ready to get going?
Hey, they got their awards though, Michelle, right?
They do. So okay. Your MCAs were sent your awards earlier this week. So if your name is called, please make sure to go grab your award from your MCA. And we would love for you to share your awards on Facebook and Instagram. So use the hashtag KW Greater PA 2021. Amanda will drop it in the chat channel for it's GPA Cultural Summit 2021. We want to see your beautiful faces with your awards. So please go ahead and do that. And we'll continue to celebrate all of you.
All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's
do it.
celebrate these folks. So at number 10, individual units, top performer from Atlantic County Market Center, Jessica Denfrencia.
Coming in 9 from the Washington Township Market Center, Cheryl Dare.
Number 8 from Pocono, Tina D'Amato.
Coming in number 7 from the Princeton Market Center, Stephanie Prettyman.
From Pittsburgh North, number 6, Jason Mazie.
In the top 5 from the Swedesboro Market Center, individual units, Kelly Kanagili.
At number 4 from Delaware Beaches, Aaron Lee.
Number 3 from the Toms River Market Center, Maureen Scheffler.
At number 2 from Why I'm Missing, Kelly Spade.
And our number 1 top performer for individual units for 2021 from the Pittsburgh South Market Center, Libby Solyard.
Wow,
Congrats,
almost
Libby. 196 units.
I have a headache thinking about all those units. Wow, congratulations, Libby. All right, top performer individual volume, Philly South at number 10, Lawrence Resnick.
Coming in number 9 from the Philly South Market Center, Abe Thompson.
Wow, there's some numbers there. Philly South, Andre LePierre, number 8. Actually, I think that's Burlington, actually. I think he's from Burlington. So yeah, Burlington Market Center.
Coming in number 7 from the Philly South Market Center, Francis Megabet.
Number 6, Stephanie Prettyman, Princeton.
Number 5 from the Philly South Market Center, Ryan Salzwood.
Number 4 from Toms River, Yetzel Steiner.
Number 3 from the Monmouth Ocean Market Center, Brady Hallisner.
Number 2 from Morristown, Christine Dash.
And the number 1 top performer for individual volume for 2021 in the Greater Pennsylvania region from the Wyomissing Market Center, Kelly Spade.
Congratulations, Kelly. Wow,
Congrats,
some big
Kelly.
numbers. Great job. So we got, what do we got here? We got top performer individual team units at number 10 from Newtown, the Dave Marcola Group.
Number 9 from the Princeton Market Center, Team Monsport.
Number 8 from good old Michelle McBride's Market Center, Wilmington, Matt Fish.
Congrats, Matt. Number 7 from Burlington County, the Valerie Presley team.
Number 6 from Cumberland County, our OP, Nick Barrero team.
Congrats, Nick. Breaking the top 5 from the Atlantic County Market Center, the Howard Winners home team. Congrats, Howard.
My man's been working hard, I know that.
He has.
From number 4 from Swedesboro, my boy, the Marketuno Group. Good job, David.
Rounding out the top 3, top performer for individual team units, Cal Yoder team from Lancaster Market Center.
Number 2, Ocean County LBI, Forever Home. What a cool name, right? Forever Home. Love that team.
And the number 1 top performer for individual team units, Mike Chumsky from the Westchester Market Center, 86 closed units.
Great job, Mike. Woo.
So for top performers for individual team volume, number 10, the Boyle team from the Jersey Shore Market Center.
Good job, Jimmy. Number 9 from Princeton, Team Monsport.
Number 8 from the Devin Wayne Market Center, the Alex Coates team. Congrats, Alex.
Good job. Number 7 from Brandywine Valley, Linda O'Sullivan Group.
Number 6 from the Wilmington Market Center, Matt Fish. Congrats, Matt.
Good job. All right, we're at number 5, the Forever Home, Ocean County LBI.
Number 4 from the Swedesboro Market Center, the Mark Cantuno Group.
Number 3, Lancaster Market Center, Cal Yoder team.
Number 2 from the Newtown Market Center, the Dave Marcola Group.
And at number 1, Mike Chauncey, Westchester. Mike, he crushed it on our call we had last week, our community call. So great job, Mike. Awesome job.
Number 10 from the York Market Center, for top performer for team unit, we have Mindy Weiger Kaufman team. Congrats, Mindy.
At number 9, Pocono Market Center, Burke team.
Number 8, the Meyer Group from the Morristown Market Center.
From Bluebell, the Sharon Solomon team, number 7. Great job, Sharon.
Number 6 from the Philadelphia Center City Market Center, Streamline.
At number 5, Pittsburgh North, the Fred Amendola team.
Number 4 from the Delaware Beaches Market Center, Move to Delaware, DE.
I love these cool names, Michelle. At number 3 from Allentown, the Dan Witt team.
Number 2 from the Pocono Market Center, the Kelly team.
And number 1, the Ward team from Ocean Living. Great job.
Congratulations. 169.9. The units are incredible. All right, John, we've got the top performers for team volume. Coming in at number 10, the Ward team from Ocean Living Market Center.
And number 9 from Pocono, Work team.
Number 8 from the Robbinsville Market Center, the Marinick Group.
There you go, Darlene. At number 7, the Allentown Market Center, the Dan Witt team.
Number 6 from the Morristown Market Center, the Mayer Group.
Number 5, Philadelphia Center City, Streamline.
Number 4 from the Jersey Shore Market Center, Ocean City Real Estate Group.
Number 3, Delaware Beaches, Surf on a Home. Love these names, man.
Number 2 from the Pocono Market Center, the Kelly team.
And at number 1, Move to Delaware from Delaware Beaches. Congratulations. Great job. Great job.
All right, we're going in the top performer for group units. Coming in at number 10, the Moz Group from the Washington Township Market Center, 295 units. That's 10th place.
Great job, man. Woo. Number 9 from Wilmington, the Matt Feddick Real Estate team.
Congrats, Matt. Number 8 from the Toms River Market Center, the Tim O'Shea team.
I didn't even know they had that many houses to sell down there. Wow. Woo. Number 7, the Gary Mercer Group from Westchester Market Center. Woo. The numbers are making me all crazy, Michelle.
Number 6 from Philadelphia Center City Market Center, the Summers team.
These numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger. From the York Market Center at number 5, the Liz Hamburger team.
Congratulations, Liz. From number 4, the Philly South Market Center, Center City Listings.
At number 3, Philadelphia Center City Market Center, the Condo Shop.
Number 2 from the Philly South Market Center, Philly Living.
And number 1, with 1,103 closed units. Wow. From Philly South Market Center, the Mike McCann team. Oh my God.
Congratulations, Mike McCann.
Whoa. And Mike's in OP too.
You know, he just did that and launched the Market Center.
That's just a little side thing.
No
right?
big deal. All right, here we go, John. Top performers for group volume. Coming in at number 10 from the Bluebell Market Center, the Silva Group.
Coming in at number 9, my man Jeff, the Quinton Group from the Jersey Shore Market Center.
Number 8 from the Cherry Hill Market Center, the Lisa Wolashina team.
Great job, Lisa. My man, Matt Feddick, the real estate team from Wilmington Market Center. Number 7, great job.
Congrats, Matt. Coming in number 6 from the Philly South Market Center, Philly Living.
Awesome. Number 5, the Summers team from Philadelphia Center City Market Center.
Coming in number 4, the Condo Shop from the Philadelphia Center City Market Center.
Number 3, Center City Listings from the Philly South Market Center. Great job.
Number 2 from the Westchester Market Center, the Gary Mercer Group.
Great job, Gary and team. And at number 1, at 357.4 million sold, the Mike McCann team from the Philly South Market Center. Wow. Awesome year. Great job. Well done. I mean, Michelle, those numbers are just amazing. And listen, you know, we had, you know, Philly had some challenges, you know, when COVID first hit, and these amazing leaders stepped up and they just had some record years, and they figured out other ways to get the job done. And there was no stopping the groups there. So, I mean, I'm honored to be able to work with so many great leaders, Michelle, and I know you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are just incredible in a normal year. But the fact that those numbers came out of our pandemic year are just simply amazing. So seriously, everyone, congratulations, job well done. That's called the tip of the spear, John. And when we have close to 10,000 agents and you are in the top 10 of any category, you should be extremely proud of yourselves. It's hard work, that's perseverance, that's grit, that's guts. It's getting up every day and doing the things that you have to do, probably even when you didn't want to. So congratulations to everyone, job well done.
Yeah, we're blessed to be in business with you all, and keep doing what you're doing, because you're going to beat that. You're going to 2021 is going to beat those numbers. So that's even better.
That's right.
So Michelle, this is like, you know, like we could be done, right? I mean, there's so much great stuff, but we got like a person that we've seen kind of, you know, years ago, and we watched his just world just blow up. And I mean, you see him all over the world now. I mean, he was like with us, and then all of a sudden, like he just went to like China and like Ireland and all around the world. And like, you know, like I'm just happy that we can get him back here.
Yeah, so it's really fun. So Nick Santanastasso, we're going to watch a quick video for those of you who don't know Nick, but he's been a good friend of our region for a few years now. And we're just so excited to watch his journey. And let's watch a video on Nick today.
The doctors classified me with Hanhart syndrome. Are you ready to challenge the impossible?
His name is Nick Santanastasso. Nick Santanastasso.
Welcome back to Max Out with Ed Milet. This man to my left, I think, is one of the most inspiring people on planet Earth today.
Welcome to Beijing.
At the time of my birth, I was the 12th baby in medical history that they've ever seen this happen to. And out of the 12, 8 of them have passed away due to undeveloped organs.
Like any other 12-year-old, Nick Santanastasso enjoys football, skateboarding, and playing video games. And while these may sound like simple everyday activities, for Nick, they are anything but. He is one boy who defies the odds.
It's not about how many times we fall down. It's about how many times we get up and keep moving forward.
And an unbelievable public speaker, for the record, that you're going to hear about in a minute. But this is Nick Santanastasso.
Have you ever felt like you were invisible? Have you ever felt like you weren't good enough? Raise your hand if at least one time in your life you said, why me? Look around the room. It's everyone. We all get a taste of that victim mentality, but why me? Why do I have to be born like this? Why do I have to be born with no legs and one arm? Why do the kids have to make fun of me? Why do I have to go through these challenges? What I've realized over the 23 years of my life, it's not the physical body that holds us back, but it's the mindset. The biggest disability you can have is a bad mindset.
We're super excited to welcome Nick to our cultural summit for 2021. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you guys so much. Amazing. Awesome.
I'm so excited to have you here. We're gonna turn our cameras off, friend, and just turn it right on over to you because we don't want to take any time away from what you've got to say today.
Let's do it real quick. I'm just gonna share. Awesome. All right, my friends, listen. Some of you may see me, whether that was at one of the events in the previous, or this is your first time seeing me. So what I would like to see in the chat first and foremost is this your first time seeing Nick, second, third, or maybe this is the first time you've ever been exposed to me? And what is going to happen today is I'm going to give you tactical strategies that literally have the ability to take your life to the next level, which is most important. I see the chat blowing up, by the way. Really appreciate that. And as I move on here, I'm going to give you 110% presence. I'm going to serve you at my highest level. And so I highly suggest right now that you eliminate all distractions. I'm talking about phone, email, text. The only thing that you should be tuned into right now is this unicorn on this table, because I'm literally going to give you tactical strategies to be able to increase lead flow, sales and conversions, all the good stuff that we want. But most importantly, take your relationship with yourself to the next level. And so I see the chat blowing up. I'm sending love. I appreciate y'all. And how many of us have ever seen a movie and we watch that movie and then we come back to that movie and we watch the same movie and we see a different movie? Has anyone ever been there? Go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. The reason being is because we can share the same information or sometimes even the same stories, but you're at a different point in your life. And so it resonates different or it hits home where you find a different message. Who sees that? Absolutely, chat's blowing up. So let's go ahead and get started, because over the next 40 to 45 minutes, we're gonna burn it down here and give you some tactical strategies. And before we start, I know I can't see your faces, but what I want you to do right now before we get started is I want to put both your hands up, or your little arm, your big arm, and just real slightly, just start shaking your booty. There you go. There you go. Now we're just changing your physiology because I want you to be in an active state when we're learning here. And now that we just shaked our booties, I want you to make sure that you have something that you're going to write down. Have a pen, have a pencil, something that you're going to write down. The reason being is because you will retain more information. The last thing that I want to do is get up here, share some knowledge, and you just take the knowledge and you don't implement it. I want you to write this down. Knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is potential power. But the real power is in the implementation. Oftentimes we get caught up in this thing we call infobesity. And that is the consumption of knowledge and not taking any action, right? So I don't want you to fall into the infobesity category. So make sure you have something to write down. And let's get started here. So I remember I was back at the airport, and it was Southwest flight 244. And I'm with my team and they roll me up to the terminal in a wheelchair. And do you know what happens when you roll up in the line in a wheelchair? You get to skip the line, right? Focus on the strengths, people. And so you get to skip the line. And so they roll me up to the wheelchair and they roll me down into the plane. And remember, I'm the first person in the plane. I'm the first person in the plane, and I've sat in the first row and I sat towards the window so two other people can have the best seats in the plane. And I remember the flight attendant saying, honey, this is going to be a full flight. I said, no worries. I already got my seat. And the plane started filling in. The plane started filling in and people are looking at me and then looking away, or, hey, look at that guy. And over the 24 years of my life, my friends, I see this more than other people would see it. I'm in tune with this stuff. And when I was sitting in there and the plane started filling in, no one wanted to sit next to me. No one wanted to sit next to me. And I felt things that all human beings feel. I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I wasn't seen. I felt uncomfortable in my skin. I felt like I didn't fit in. And the bottom line is I just got in this deep, dark, negative space. And so the plane started filling in, and I'm trying to be a stud, but I'm looking out the window and I'm crying. And I'm looking out the window, and I asked myself, you know, because I talk to myself, and I know you all talk to yourself as well, because we all do it. I asked myself a question. I said, Nick, what would you tell the adults you speak to? Nick, what would you tell the kids you speak to? Practice what you preach. What would you tell them? And I'm talking to myself, and I said, it's the meaning I attach behind this. I'm trying to find the message within the mess. What is it? And in that moment, I came up with my solution. I came up with my answer. And I said to myself, I said, Nick, you can cry all the way home. You can let this affect your day, your week, your month. Or Nick could celebrate the fact that he has the most legroom in this plane. Poof. If you're at home right now, I want you to snap your fingers. I can't, so I'll pretend I'm snapping my fingers up here. Snap your fingers at home. In the snap of a finger, my friends, I was able to take a situation that was disempowering. I was able to take a situation that was a loss and turn it into a what? Quick in the chat. I turned that loss into a what? A win. And how I did that was attaching an empowering meaning behind the event. You see, I want you to write this down. When you change your story, you change your life. And I promise you, the only thing that's holding you back from more sales, more volume, a better relationship with yourself and others is the story that we're constantly telling ourselves over and over again in our head. And some of the stories go like this. I don't have the resources. I'm too young to start that office. I'm too old to start that office. I can't make those deals. I'm bad at sales. I'm bad at influence. You know what I'm talking about. It's the story that we tell ourselves over and over again of why we aren't where we are or why we aren't where we need to be. Change your story, change your life. And like I said in my preview video, over the 24 years of my life, my friends, I believe that it's not the physical body that holds you back. But the biggest disability you can have is a bad mindset. And so before I even get started, what I want to do is, if you're okay with it, go ahead and drop a yes if you're okay with this. I want to take you through a quick gratitude exercise because I think we can all agree that right now, during this crazy time, the world is filled with anxiety and stress. And I've spent my time years surrounded by some of the top achievers and how they've been able to apply gratitude and thankfulness into their life to get to the next level. And this isn't just fairies and unicorns and magic dust. I promise you, the emotion of gratitude, listen to this. The emotion of gratitude outweighs all the negative emotions. What do I mean by that? Well, it's emotionally impossible for you to feel thankful and pissed off at the same time. Thankful and sad, thankful and stressed, thankful and full of anxiety. The emotion of gratitude will outweigh all those negative emotions. And so what I want you to do right now, because I'm going to take you through this exercise, I'm actually going to play it. I'm going to go through it as well with you. But right now in the chat, be honest with yourself because the truth will set you free. I want you to rate your anxiety and stress levels right now, 1 through 10. 10 being I'm full of anxiety, I'm full of stress. I want you to rate your anxiety and stress levels 1 through 10. And I want to see them in the chat real quick. So let's blow up the chat here. Here we go. Rate your anxiety. Yep. I'm glad to see some low numbers, but most important, that the truth will set you free. And I promise, if you play full out, not only in this presentation, but if you play full out in this exercise right now, this could be one of the greatest gifts that you may take away from today. I got a lot of gifts to give, but this may be one of the greatest gifts that you give yourself. So I see the chat. Thank you so much for blowing up the chat. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play my gratitude exercise. I'm going to go through it with you. Play full out because I promise you this could be one of the greatest gifts you give yourself today. So let me go ahead and I'm going to start this exercise. I'm not going to walk you through it. I'm going to talk you through it. Let's get it started.
We're going to start off with 6 deep breaths. And the reason being, it's going to relax your mind, get you into your heart, and get us ready for our journey. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 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 Now make this last deep breath your deepest breath in. Deep breath in. Hold it. Deep breath out. I want you to put your hands on your heart and breathe deep into your heart. Feel your heart. What's pretty cool about your heart is that it was given to you. It was a gift. Life's a gift. Now I want you to go to a moment in your life that you can feel extremely grateful for. A moment in your life that you can feel extremely grateful for. Maybe it was the birth of a child, a family vacation, a wedding, but a moment for you that you can feel extremely grateful for. Who was there? What did the environment look like? Live in that moment. That's it. That's it. Now I want you to go to a moment in your life. Let's stack that moment. I want you to go to a moment in your life that you can feel extremely proud of. A moment in your life that you can feel extremely proud of. Maybe it's a mommy-daddy moment, a business moment, a family moment, but a moment for you that you can feel proud of. That's it. This is your moment. Don't let it go. Live in the moment. I see some tears. I see some smiles. That's it. This is your moment. Now let's go to one more moment. I want you to go to a moment in your life that felt coincidental. A moment for you where you were at the right place at the right time. And was it coincidental? Or were you guided? Guided by God, the universe, the higher power, whatever you believe in. A moment for you that felt guided or coincidental. That's it. You're doing great. Breathe that moment into your heart. Fill up with those emotions like gratitude, appreciation. That's it. And when you're ready, at your own pace, bring your attention to the present moment. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes.
How was that, my friends? Hey, can I get some, how you feeling? Most importantly, go ahead. If you want to put your moments in there, Go ahead and put your moments in there. If you want to put your stress levels, how about that anxiety and stress? Where did it go? Go ahead and rate yourself. Let's see. Did that bring your anxiety and stress down? And you don't have to BS me. Did it or not? Because what I've realized, like I said, my friends, is the emotion of gratitude outweighs all the negative emotions. Was that powerful or what? And I want you to write this down. This is from the big man. I've been able to spend a lot of time with Tony Robbins. I want you to write this down. When you're in your head, you're dead. When you're in your heart, you're smart. When you're in your head, you're dead. When you're in your heart, you're smart. We don't make good decisions from our head, from anxiety, pissed off, angry, stressed. You know it. We don't send good emails. We don't send good texts. We don't have good conversations when we're coming from anxiety and stress. And so would you agree that if you implemented this gratitude exercise, whether that's in your team huddle, or in the beginning of your day, that you'd be starting off on the right foot? And I know it was powerful for you. So what I want to do is, if you go in the chat right now, you can have it free. I want to give you that, my gift from me to you, because I know it has the ability to change your life. I know it has the ability to lower anxiety and stress levels, and that's what we need in this crazy moment. So they have posted a link. You can go download it right now. It's free, or you can wait. Just save the link. Make sure you save it, because you're going to love. You are going to love when you get that gratitude exercise and you are using it and exercising your muscle of gratitude and appreciation. So I haven't even gotten to my content. Has this been powerful? Go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. I haven't even started yet, right? So let's go ahead and get started here, shall we? I'm just going to pull up my stuff here. Great. So over the last 3 years, my friends, I traveled around the world helping thousands of people just like you get out of their own way, get out of their downward spiral, increase lead flow, increase conversions, increase their sales and influence, increase the way they communicate with people, and most importantly, help them build the relationship that they have within themselves, which is the most important one, which we're going to learn all about that. And so in the next 30 minutes, I'm literally going to teach you the power of what I came up called the victory method. I want you to write down the victory method. This is my methodology that I teach thousands of people all over the world that are getting life-changing results here. And so the victory method has helped people just like you land their dream job. I know you got your dream job here. It's helped them negotiate huge salary increases, close more deals, launch their business or their office, get into the best shape of their life. And for some, it's even helped them repair broken relationships. This victory method is off the charts here. And I think we can all agree, and if you agree, go ahead and drop a yes in the chat, that times have changed. Times have changed, my friends. We're in a new world, a new economy, new ways of going about things. And the bottom line is, my friends, the people out there, they wake up, they take the same actions, they think the same thoughts, they eat the same food, they consume the same information, and then they expect their life to be different. That's not the way it goes. In order to have a different life, to set a new standard, we need to take new actions, have new thoughts, eat different foods, consume better knowledge, and then get new results so you can have a new life. Don't expect to do the same things over and over again and get a new life and get new results. It's just not going to happen. And there are two types of people. I'd hold up two, but I only got one here, right? But there are two types of people. And there's a little analogy that I want to use for this. And there are two types of people, especially during this COVID and this pandemic. One person is taking their foot off the gas. They're losing their habits. They're losing their rituals. They're slacking off on their workout plans. They're slacking off on business. And their blade is becoming dull. They're using this time to relax. They're using this time to chill. They're using this time to actually go backwards. And I don't want that to happen to you. Now, the other person, on the other hand, see what I'm doing? The other hand is that person is taking this time to sharpen their blade. And what I mean by that is, when we sharpen our blade, we double down our habits. We double down on our rituals. We double down on our gratitude. We double down on learning new content, new ways to influence, new ways to provide value to the marketplace. And those people are going to sharpen their blade when the rest of the world out there, not you, the people out there, blade is getting dull. And so in the chat, what do you want to do? You have two types of people. You want to sharpen your blade, or you want your blade to become dull? That's it. There's two choices. And so I highly suggest, and I think we can all agree that COVID gave us this time not only to necessarily slow down, but to see what's important. I bet for you during this time, you found a gift in the situation. And that gift for you was you probably found a new hobby. Maybe for you, you finally dialed in your health. Maybe for you, you got deeper, meaningful relationships with your spouse, deeper, meaningful relationships with your kids, your family. You found out what's important. And so now that we know what's important, let's double down on our action while the rest of the world out there is getting slower. They're getting weaker. They're getting less smart. I want you to sharpen your blade during this time. Don't be like the rest. Now, over these next 30, 35 minutes I'm going to talk about 3 pillars. And these three pillars act as a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And the important thing about these 3 pillars, which I'm going to teach, is that these pillars are all equally as important. Not one pillar is greater than the other. They're all equally as important, because if you look at a bridge needs some legs in order to be sturdy. Maybe it's got 1 leg, maybe got 2 legs, 3 legs, but we need some legs to be sturdy. And I've been able to find sturdiness in my life without legs, but we need these pillars in order to be sturdy, right? So first one, pillar number 1, I want you to write this down. Pillar number 1 is consistency. Consistency. So what I'm going to do right now is they're going to show up, my team is going to pull up a picture of me. And this is what I call Chubby Nick. And I got a little story about this guy and how consistency wraps up and how consistency literally changed my life. And so I think we can all agree when we got into middle school and high school are probably the most judgmental times of our lives. And I love food. I know we all love food. And I grew up in a massive Italian family where we knew nothing about nutrition. We just knew everything about food. And I was an out of shape, depressed, suicidal kid. And I was always asking myself, why me? Why do I have to be born like this? Why do the kids have to make fun of me? Why do I have to be born with no legs or an arm? And I thought it was the biggest curse that life could give me. And I was looking for a way out. And my way out was I was looking for something that would instill confidence in me, something that would allow me to fall in love with this body, because I couldn't change my body. I couldn't control my body, but I could control the relationship I have within myself. And so when I got into high school, my older brother, rest in peace, I always try to honor my brother. My brother was an amazing wrestler. And I wanted to be just like my brother. And so when I got into high school, I'm from New Jersey and wrestling's a big deal. And all my best friends were wrestlers. And they came up to me one day and they said, Nick, you always tell people to try new things. Why don't you try wrestling? And I said, I can't, my arm. And what I mean by that is this guy, we call it the potato now, but it used to look like a chicken wing. And the reason why it looked like a chicken wing is because this arm was 5 inches longer than it is now, and my bone was growing faster than my skin. So the bottom line is, if I would have hit my arm hard enough, my bone would have came through my skin. But one of the greatest skills that I've acquired, and I'd love for you to acquire as well, is being solution oriented. We have too many people out there that are focused on the problem. When you focus on the problem, it never serves you. When you focus on the solution, it will elevate you to the next level. And so I was focusing on the solution and all the ways that I could become a wrestler. And so I came home one day, I sat both my parents down. I said, Mom and Dad, I want to become a wrestler. And my mom said, oh no, Nick, God forbid, wrestling's the most physical sport. God forbid you hit your arm, your bone comes through your skin. What are you going to do then? And in under 10 seconds, my friends, I came up with a solution. I looked my parents in their eyes and I said, can we cut my arm off? And they said, what? I said, yeah. Can we cut my arm off? Can we do something about it? And there was this awkward silence. And finally, my parents broke the awkward silence by saying, Nick, first off, the right word is amputate. You're so aggressive with your words. I said, okay, I'll use your words, your vocabulary. Can we amputate my arm? Can we do something about it? And they said, Nick, is this something that you really want to do? And I said, absolutely. And so my sophomore year of high school, my parents went ahead and scheduled the appointment for me to amputate my arm for a shot at my dreams. But you see, this story isn't about me and how crazy it was of me to sacrifice my arm. But this story is about the few questions that I'm going to ask you here. And before I even ask you these questions, I want to give you this little piece of knowledge, and I want you to write this down. The reason why I ask so many questions is because the quality of your life comes down to the quality of the questions you ask yourself on a day-to-day basis. I'll say it again. The quality of your life comes down to the quality of the questions you ask yourself on a day-to-day basis. Nick, what does that mean? Well, our brain is a problem-solving mechanism. And your brain will always find an answer to your questions. And so in the chat, if you'll answer it for me, if you ask a bad question, what kind of answer are you going to get? Quick, in the chat.
Bad answer.
That's right, Paula. A bad answer. You're going to get a bad answer. And if you ask a great question, if you ask an empowering question, what kind of answer are you going to get? An empowering one. Who sees that? And that's the difference. That's the difference between a victim and a victor. A victim, you know what question a victim asks? Why me? Why can't I get deals? Why can't I make the money? Why can't I get to the next level? And you know what? Your brain's going to come up with a pretty bad answer if you ask a bad question. Who sees that? Drop a yes in the chat. But if you ask yourself an empowering question, if you ask yourself an amazing question, maybe is, what are the 2mm shifts in my sales and influence that can help me get to the next level? Or next time you have a problem, a challenge, or something that you face, you ask yourself, instead of why me, you ask yourself the golden question of, what did I learn? What can I learn from this? Because your brain will give you an answer, and it will be a better answer if you ask a better question. Was that powerful? Go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. Ask better questions. And I don't know if you know David Osborne, $100 Million Man from Keller Williams, one of my dear friends and mentors. He even told me, he said, Nick, the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is a millionaire asks, what do I need to do? And a billionaire asks, who do I need to hire? Ask a better question, you get a better answer. And so a few questions that I want to write you down to hit home on that story about chopping my arm off is, one, what are you willing to sacrifice to be successful? What are you willing to sacrifice to be successful? What are you willing to sacrifice to be that leader, to be that mom, to be that dad, to be that amazing communicator, that influencer? What are you willing to sacrifice to get to the next level? Yeah, someone said sacrifice self-doubt. Absolutely. What are you willing to sacrifice? Now, the second question that I want you to ask yourself, or write down, and you can answer it at the end of this. Hopefully, it's not a limb like me. That's my sister. Well, shout out to my sister. Hopefully, it's not a limb like me. But what are the very beliefs in your life that you need to cut off that no longer serve you, my friends? And the beliefs I'm talking about is I don't have the resources. I don't have the time. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the energy. I don't have the right mentors. I don't have the right education. No one went to college in my family. We're all broke. What are the very beliefs in your life that you need to cut off that no longer serve you? And last but not least, for this little questionnaire that I'm asking you, right? Last but not least, what are the very people in your life that don't serve you that you need to cut off? That's one of the toughest ones. Who agrees? What are the very people in your life right now that don't align with your core values? You know all about core values. I know your culture very well. What are the very people in your life that don't align with your core values, your goals, your ambitions, and your visions that you need to cut off that no longer serve you? These are powerful questions, which then lead to powerful answers. And I'm not necessarily saying that you need to eliminate your family and friends, because I think we can all agree that sometimes, sometimes it's our closest family and friends that don't see the growth. They don't see the goals. They don't see the vision. And that's okay. You do what I call loving from afar. Loving from afar. And what that means is you just don't give them all your time and energy because you're busy building your legacy for you, your family, and your freedom. It is not selfish to be selfless sometimes, my friends. And the analogy that I like to use is, who is in your front row of life? Who's in your front row of life? The people in your front row should be hyping you up, loving on you, and most importantly, pushing you because they know you got more in you. Who agrees? Drop a yes in the chat. And then the people that are in the couple of rows back, they can be your family. They can be your friends. We just love them from afar because we have an empire to build. We have an empire to build. We have freedom to build, and we have a legacy to keep. Who's up for that? So we're talking about non-negotiables, right? And so one of the epiphanies that I had during this wrestling phase, and I want you to write this down, this is my epiphany, is that confidence and self-worth is a skill. Confidence and self-worth is a skill, it's a muscle, and it's something that we acquire. And how we acquire confidence and self-worth, my friends, is we control our controllables. Because you and I know more than anyone else that there's a lot of things in our life that we can't control. Yes, we can't control the pandemic. We can't control the mask. We can't control whatever your beliefs are. We can't control that stuff. The news, politics, we can't control that. Too many people get caught up in the things that we can't control when you're missing all the things in your general vicinity that you can control, that really make the difference. I don't care who's running the country. A winner always finds a way to win, yes or no. I don't care if they shut down the economy, they shut down the way we do business. We're humans. We will always find a way. We will always find a way, my friends. And so, control your controllables. I'm going to talk about these things called non-negotiables, but I want to give you a little analogy. I got a lot of analogies, and the reason why I have so many analogies is because storytelling and analogies, for you leaders in here, storytelling and analogies are the best way for people to grasp concepts, right? And so the analogy that I have here is, if confidence and self-worth is built by following through on the very promises that we keep within ourselves, let's look at it this way. Say I told you, I said, guys and girls, after this speech, meet me here at this restaurant at 6 p.m. We're going to have a dinner date. Make sure you wear your best shoes. I'll bring my best shoes, you know what I'm saying? And we'll get dressed up and we'll go on a dinner date. And you all show up at 6 p.m. at that restaurant, and guess what? I don't show up. How many dates of Nick not showing up are you going to realize that I'm unreliable? 1, twice, 3 times if you're a pushover, right? Someone gave me a 2, 3 times. Now let's flip the script on ourselves. How many times have you say you're going to do something and you create a promise within yourself and you don't show up for yourself, are you going to realize you're unreliable? I'll say that again. How many times of you saying you're going to do something, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start today, I'm going to close my deals, get too many prospects. How many times of you not showing up for yourself are you going to realize you're unreliable? My friends, every time that we commit to something and we make a promise and we break it, subconsciously we diminish the relationship we have within ourselves. We diminish our work ethic. We diminish our self-integrity. We diminish the relationship we have. And I don't know if you know this, but the most important relationship that you can have in life is who? In the chat, who is it? It's you, ourselves. And so you can literally change your life, your self-worth, your self-integrity, eliminate self-doubt, the uncertainty, by finally just keeping your promises within yourself. That's right, Sherry, showing up for yourself. And so my team's going to put a picture. Here's a picture of what consistency looks like when you follow through on the very promises that you keep within yourself. I want you to take a picture of this, by the way. So the next time someone gives you an excuse, next time someone says, I'm too tired to go to the gym, it's too hard to close deals. Here, take a look at this picture. This is the outcome of consistency. This is also the outcome of when you take pasta and bread away from an Italian. You get shredded. You lose some weight, right? And my friends, the way that I've achieved these results is I'll share some of the things that I did. First one, 45 minutes of working out. 45 minutes of working out. One of my non-negotiables, we call these non-negotiables, which means despite what goes on in business that day, despite what goes on in personal life that day, that we get our non-negotiables done. And so some of my non-negotiables were 45-minute workout, my gallon of water, 10 pages of reading. These are just non-negotiables that I hold to myself, my friends. And the reason why non-negotiables are so important, like I said, is because non-negotiables are literally the guardrails to our life. Because would you agree that humans like us, high achievers, we love the feeling of progress? If you agree, drop a yes in the chat. We love the feeling of progress. And so why don't we design the rules of our life so we experience progress and fulfillment every single day? Most people have a dirt road to happiness and a highway to hell. Most people have a dirt road to happiness and a highway to hell. What does that mean? We've made it so hard for ourselves to feel fulfillment, happiness, and progress. Why? Let's set up in our life non-negotiables that you know you can achieve. So when you put your sweet little head down on the pillow, you know you move the needle forward in your life. Who's up for that? Drop a yes if you're up for adding some non-negotiables in your life. And by the way, we agree, this is life-changing here. This is life-changing stuff. And it's not complex. Oftentimes, my friends, we think that we need to make massive shifts in our sales to get more money and to impact more people. We often think it's massive shifts in our diet and nutrition to change our life. But when in reality, it's these 2 millimeter shifts that make all the difference. The 2 millimeter shifts in your rituals, your morning routine, the way you communicate to your people, the way you communicate to your clients. It's 2 millimeter shifts that add up, that really make the difference. So I want to give, small shifts. So I want to give you another example. We're going to throw up another picture on the screen. This is someone that we work with inside our inner circle, my community of victors. And this is someone that we've worked with who literally changed his life through non-negotiables and consistency. Alex, if we can throw up that picture as well. This is Don. Meet one of our victors, Don. Someone we worked with inside of our inner circle in our community. When we met Don, look, he's out of shape. He was working a desk job. He wasn't happy. He wasn't fulfilled. And most importantly, can we see that he broke a lot of promises that he had within himself? Who sees that? Drop a yes in the chat. Don came to me and said, Nick, I want you to be my accountability partner for this program. It's called 75 Hard. Some of you, if you follow me deeply with bodybuilding, you know what 75 Hard is. And what 75 Hard is, my friends, it's literally just a bunch of non-negotiables. And some of the non-negotiables, it's pretty extreme, but some of the non-negotiables are a progress picture a day, a gallon of water a day, 10 pages of reading, 2 45-minute workouts a day, 1 indoor and 1 outdoor, and no cheats on your diet for 75 days. Someone said on day 2 of 75 Hard, let's keep going, John, keep going, right? It was just a program listed of non-negotiables. And what's amazing is most people are like, oh my God, I'm going to get so many physical benefits out of that. But what do you think the biggest gains are out of 75 days of keeping your promise within yourself? Habits, mental, like Rusty said, right? Mental. And would you agree that the person on the left, if we can bring that up, the person on the left, not much confidence, not much self-worth, not much integrity. You can literally see a transfer and a transformation in enthusiasm, self-integrity, confidence. Look at the difference of the person, my friends. That's the power of consistency in following through on the very promises that you keep within yourself. Thank you, Alex. And so, my friends, the foundation to all of your success is your relationship that you have within yourself. Would you agree that your clients can feel your uncertainty if you're not prepared? Yes or no? Your leaders, your people can feel uncertainty and lack of confidence if you're not prepared. My friends, we project what we hold on to. We project what we're going through. People know when you're uncertain. They know when you're not confident, and that's going to lead to less sales, less conversion, and most importantly, less impact in your life. The reason why I'm able to influence at such a high level is because I built this man. I built confidence, I built certainty, and I built an amazing relationship with myself that no one can take from me. So let's implement this right now in the chat. Give me 2 to 3 non-negotiables right now that you're going to commit to that are going to take your life to the next level. I'd love to see them in the chat. 2 to 3. That could be 10 pages of reading, 45-minute workout, your gallon of water, maybe my gratitude exercise in the beginning of your day. Yep, someone said my breathing exercise. Absolutely, but commit now. Commit today. Affirmations, absolutely. Look at these. And if you need some thought joggers, there are hundreds in the chat right now. Let's commit to these non-negotiables today so we can better the relationship we have within ourselves. Remember, confidence is a skill. We need to control the controllables. And my friends, before I even move on to my next two pillars, because I want to be conscious of the time and I want to serve you at my highest level. Most humans out there, we get into this pattern of I have to go to the gym. I have to make that phone call. I have to go to that listing. I have to do this open house, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, all those things we get to. We get to go to the gym because we have a body to do so. We get to build a business because we live in a country where we have the freedom to do so. You get to come to work every day because you have the opportunity to be surrounded by like-minded achievers. When you switch your have-tos to your get-tos, your life will change in that moment, my friends. When you switch your have-tos to your get-tos, your life will change in that moment. And who agrees there's a lot of things right now that we can implement that we say I have to, we can switch it with I get to. Life-changing stuff, my friends. Pillar number 2, moving on, number 2. The second thing, the second pillar that bridges the gap from where you are and where you want to be. We had consistency. The next one is coaching. The next one is coaching. So many people ask me, Nick, how did I become a world-class speaker in just a few short years? I'm not talking about short my height. I'm talking about in 4 to 5 years, I became a world-class speaker. How did I do it? The bottom line is, I wish I had a complex, amazing answer, an elaborate answer, but the bottom line is, my friends, I've hired a coach. One of my great speaking coaches, rest in peace, his name was Dr. Sean Stevenson. Many of you probably know who Sean Stevenson was. And, I've hired a coach, and I want you to write this down. When you hire a coach or you have a coach, coaching is a cheat code to life. Coaching is a cheat code to life. Why? Why is that, Nick? Why is coaching a cheat code to life? Well, if you can answer this in the chat, I'd be really thrilled if you could do it. Why do you think that your time and your energy are your 2 most valuable assets? Why do you think that is? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Why is your time and your energy your 2 most valuable assets? See some answers in the chat. Exactly. Your time and your energy are your 2 most valuable assets because you don't get them back. You never get them back, my friends. You can never get your time back. And so people like you and I, high achievers, because not many people think like this, but you and I, we always know the value in investing. Whether that's in a coach, a program, an event like this, we always know the value of investing if that person has the ability to condense time for us. What coaches do is they condense decades of knowledge into years, months, and sometimes even days. Let coaches expedite the process because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to make it smoother. And even some of the best in the world, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Conor McGregor, Kobe Bryant, what do they all have in common? Quick, in the chat. They all have coaches, my friends. And so my question to you is, do you have a coach in your life? And who are you taking advice from? And the reason why I ask who are you taking advice from is because these people need to lead by example. There are too many people out there that are learning from people who don't have the results that they want. They don't have the life that they want. And so one of the very reasons why I'm so successful in such a short amount of time is I've modeled those who have the results that I want. But you need to get clear on what you want in life or you never get anywhere worthwhile. I'll say that again. You need to get clear on where you want to go in life or you never get anywhere worthwhile. And so please, 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 please do not take financial advice from someone who doesn't have their financials in order. Please do not take health and fitness advice from someone who's out of shape. I'm just being honest. And please do not take relationship advice from someone who has terrible relationships. I know you've all done it. I've done it as well. Please let it end here. Only take advice from someone who has the life and the results that you want. Bottom line. And how that applies to you is like, who's in your upline or who's in your bottom line or who can you learn from that closed more deals, who has a proprietary process that you can learn from. All these great achievers that they just acknowledge for their volume and their sales and their influence. How can you get closer proximity to them? How can you model them? How can you learn from them? And most importantly, how can you provide value to them so we can leverage the law of reciprocation? Because if you come to me and you just ask for advice, most people want to take. But if you show up and you provide value to me, I'm going to be feeling compelled to give you knowledge and to help expedite your process because you help me as well. Don't only be a taker, be a giver. Be a giver. Now, moving on. Next pillar, and this is the last pillar, the last bridge that bridges the gap from where you are and where you want to be. The last C is community. Is community. And I'll share a quote from the OG Jim Rohn. I know you all know Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5, well, I would hold up 5 fingers. You know what I'm doing here. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If you agree on that, go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And as a coach up here and as a leader, I'm going to say some things that may get you uncomfortable. As a coach, the people that you hang around with, the bottom line is if you hang around with penny pinchers, you're most likely a penny pincher. If you hang out with people that are broke, you're most likely broke. If you hang out with people that are out of shape, you're most likely out of shape. If you hang around with people that are toxic and have toxic relationships, you most likely are toxic and have toxic relationships. So another question that I get, because I've spent a lot of time with the big man, Tony Robbins, and all of these people that you learn from, they came from him and he came from Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and all the greats. How did I get to serve alongside Tony Robbins? Well, I'll share a story with you. I've been sharing story this whole time, but I got a few more. 4.5 years ago, I knew a kid that moved from New Jersey to Tampa to pursue bodybuilding. And when he got to Tampa, he had a mutual friend there and he said, hey man, I'm having about 8 entrepreneurs come up into my house. We're going to share our stories. We're going to share our networks and resources and opportunities. I want you to come. You'll never know who you meet. You'll never know the opportunities that will come about. Just please come to this group. And so that young kid, he went to that group and he was nervous. And everybody's sharing their stories around the table. And finally, they get up to the kid and they say, what's your story? And he says, I got a long story. You got a long time? And they laughed and he started to share his story. He was sharing his story and everybody was leaning in. And finally, at the end of the story, there was a Russian guy in the corner and he said to the kid, he goes, one day you're going to be on stage with Tony Robbins. And that kid said, you're crazy. I don't even speak. I'm young. I have no business experience. I'm not a great communicator. And I have no idea who you are. Fast forward 4.5 years later. That very 20, 21-year-old kid is now on a world tour with Tony Robbins. And that kid was me, my friends. And I don't say that to say, hey, look at me, I'm amazing. I share that to show you the power of community. Because sometimes in your life, it takes a different person from a different perspective, a different walk of life to see a gift in you that you may not see in yourself. If you agree, drop a yes in the chat. It's kind of like a dusty trophy on your shelf. And your mom or your spouse comes over and they shine that trophy. You're like, oh my God, look at that trophy. It's amazing. She's like, it's been there the whole time. You just didn't take care of it. Or you just didn't know it was there. Or you just didn't exercise your muscle. Right now, my friends, you all have a gift and a calling. I know you know this. To be more, to serve more, to influence more. To break your generational curse, to provide financial freedom for you and your family and legacies. You know that. Now's the time to exercise your muscle and to elevate your consistency, your coaching, and community, because you know deep in your heart it's going to get you to the next level. And one of the biggest lessons that I've learned hanging around with Tony Robbins, I want you to write this down, is love your friends and family. Choose your peer group. Love your friends and family. Choose your peer group. Evaluate your peer group. Raise your standards. It's one of the fastest ways that you can get to the next level. I want to share another story and another great example of a power of community. Alex, if we can pull up the picture of Cam as well. This is an example of the power of community. This was a young girl that we started working with probably about 2 years ago. She joined our inner circle in our community, and this is Cam, and Cam was living in San Diego, and she was living paycheck to paycheck. She was a dental assistant. She was literally a dental assistant for her whole entire life, 10 years, living in California, paycheck to paycheck. We all know California is extremely expensive, right? And when she came to me and she joined our community, she was able to learn from people who had the results that she wanted. So she was able to get the results faster. And this is how she did it. I asked Cam, I said, Cam, what do you really want to do? And she said, well, Nick, I've been through it all. Sexual abuse, emotional abuse, beat anorexia. I'm in health and fitness. I'm a great health and fitness person. And I want to coach other women on building an empowering relationship with food and also taking back their hormones. And I said, all right, well, let's ask some great questions here. I said, first and foremost, if you had a product or service, how many clients do you need to supplement your income so you can go all in on your dreams? Just a simple question, a powerful one. And she said, well, I think I need about 12 girls on my team. I said, let's get started. It'll probably take you a month. You'll be free in a month or two. And she said, no, it'll probably take me a year. I said, Cam, when you leverage the community and you learn from people who have the results that you want, that build business, that build out products and service, it's going to go a lot faster. I'm not joking. In just 4 months, Cam had over 15 to 20 women on her team. She doubled her income, quit her dental assistant job, and went all in on her dreams of serving women all over the world. And she was able to harness her gift and realize that her past happened for her and not to her. You see, my friends, this is the power of community. And one of the two most powerful things that you can have in your business and your personal life, I want you to write this down as well, is new eyes and new ears. Why is that important? Well, we can all agree that because we're in our business and we're in our life, we can only see so much. We can only see so much. But when you have a community or when you have a coach, they can help you see your blind spots and your weak spots that you may not see. And they can also offer solutions because they are not in the business or they're not in your life. And for the leaders out there, and I know you're all leaders and achievers and coaches, our job, this is secret sauce, our job as coaches and leaders is not to give answers. My friends, I'm not here to give you answers. What I am here to do is lead you to the right answers with the right questions. Why is that so powerful? Because if I came up here and I said, John, Paula, Alexandra, these are the answers and you need to do this, you'd be like, screw off. That's not my answer. That's not my way of going about it. But if I framed or asked you a specific question and you came up with your own answer, whose answer are you going to take action on? Yours or mine? Quick, in the chat. Exactly. Your job as a coach and a leader, and when you're talking to your clients and potential buyers, is to lead them to the right answers with the right questions. And the second thing that we do as coaches and leaders is we point out people's weak spots and their blind spots. Because the bottom line is the majority of the things that are holding us back are unconscious. We just don't see them because we're in the trenches. Does that make sense? Go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. And so one of the last little case studies that we have here, we don't have to pull up the picture, but his name is Gary Bone. Some of you may know Gary Bone because Gary is an amazing Keller Williams agent. And Carrie joined my Victorious Inner Circle, my community, and we have some real estate agents in it because we have a bunch of entrepreneurs and different people from all walks of life. And Gary was so caught up on, I need to sell this amount of houses to make this amount of money to retire. And he was just diving into personal development. And I said, Gary, you know, having the right coach in his life, I said, Gary, listen, most people are trying to make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. But what if as a real estate agent, you focus some of your energy, I don't know what percentage of the energy is, but what if you focus right now on allocating or acquiring assets to build out passive income of $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 so you're free right now and you're not free later? Gary, would you rather be free now with passive income or you rather grind and try to sell 100, 200 houses your whole life and grind your whole life to make that specific amount of money? Or would you rather focus on building your passive income now? How powerful is that? How powerful is that? Go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. You can spend all your energy grinding. I want you to grind. Trust me. I want you to sell a bunch of houses. But if you also allocate your energy right now to building out your passive income now, you will be free now rather than later. You will have more time to spend with your kids, your family. And yeah, Carol, she said, all we have is now. Now is all we have. And so maybe we can allocate some of our energy. I want you to sell a bunch of houses and close a bunch of deals. And I know your leaders want to do so now, but also figure out now how you can acquire assets to get more freedom now rather than later, my friends. I hope that was powerful for you. And these are some of the case studies that happen in my inner circle, my community of like-minded individuals, because they have the right consistency, they have the right coaching, and they have the right community. And so I'm ending off here. And what I want to end off with is a few more questions, because I always got some questions. I'm Baby Yoda. I'm short. I got a lot of wisdom, and I ask really good questions, right? So how would your life change if you had the right coaching, the right consistency, and the right community in your life? How would your life change? How would your financials change if you had the right coaching, the right consistency, and the right community in your life to elevate you? How would your financials change? Someone said drastically. Yeah, 2 people, drastically, right? Blowing up the chat. Drastically. How would your health and your fitness change if you had the right consistency, the right coaching, and the right community in your life? How would it change? How would your relationships change with yourself, your family, your clients, and your customers? How would your relationships change if you had the right coaching, the right consistency, and the right community in your life? Do you think it would be life-changing? Drop a yes, right? These are the 3 C's that bridge the gap from where you are and where you want to be. And you're going to love what I mentioned next. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love all the benefits. You're going to love all the results. And so my last question, and so many people ask me this, they say, Nick, how can I start living a victorious life like you? Or do you help people live a victorious life just like you? And I said, absolutely. I do it every single week inside my inner circle, inside my mastermind called the Victorious Inner Circle. And I'm not going to talk about too much of the inner circle. And I'll talk about a few of the things that it consists of. But really, this is for those that want to step up. And I know that you wouldn't be in this group right now if you weren't an action taker. Yes, go ahead and drop it. You wouldn't be in this event. You wouldn't be in this company if you weren't an action taker. You wouldn't be in this event. You wouldn't be in this company if you weren't a high achiever and you value the investment in yourself, because the most important person that you can invest in is the one within yourself. And so what we're going to do inside my inner circle is every single Monday, I go live on Zoom with my victors, people from all over the world, real estate agents, MLM, you name it, they're in there. And I teach my best strategies on how to increase sales, how to increase lead flow, how to increase conversions, the 2mm shifts that make the difference, how to take back your body, your mind, how to improve your relationships, how to improve your health and fitness, all of these things that are going to make you a better leader, a better communicator, make more impact, make more money. I do that all of that inside my inner circle. And the bottom line is most people out there, they're not a good fit for my inner circle. I look for high achievers, look for people that are crushing it, that want more out of life, and people that know that the right coaching, the right consistency, and their right community can help them get to the next level. And so this is what we're going to do. You're going to love this. We're going to drop an application link in the chat, because I have to be very conscious about who I let into this group and what that application link is going to do. They're going to drop it in the chat right now. You're going to want to click the application link, because I know there's hundreds of people in there. You're going to want to be one of the first people in there, because those people are going to get a private one-on-one check-in call with one of my advisors or one of my trainers. And they only have so much time. And I want to make sure that they give you their full presence and their full attention. And so what you're going to want to do is click that application, get it filled out so we can jump on a call and see if you're a right fit to further the connection with me. And what's pretty cool about this is you're going to love this. For the first 5 people, that answer that application and book their call, I'm going to show up on the call and you're going to get a one-on-one check-in call with me. How cool is that? You're going to love that when you're one of the first 5 and you join a Zoom call and the person that you're meeting is one-on-one. It's me. We're going to have a check-in call and see if you're right fit to further the connection with us. And then all the other people, we're going to get you one-on-one check-in call with my trainers to see if you're a good fit for our community. How cool is that? And on that call, we're also going to talk about some of the bonuses that we're going to get because you're a part of Keller Williams. I wanted to make this a massive, amazing opportunity because you're a part of Keller Williams. Well, what's also cool is one of my favorite bonuses, and I'll share this because I've really enjoyed it and I think it's perfect time, is for those that join that call, they do the application and we figure out if you're a good fit. What we're also going to see, or what we're also going to do, is I've created a program called Junior Victorious. And Junior Victorious is for your kids. Can we drop a yes in the chat if you think that during this unprecedented time, our kids aren't getting the right human connection? They aren't getting the right knowledge. They aren't getting the right coaching. And their mindset could be going down. I mean, suicide, anxiety, depression, it's at an all-time high because of these lockdowns. And I want to serve you, and I want to serve your legacy and your kids as well, if that's okay with you. And so what you're going to want to do is, for those that sign up for that application to get their call, we'll talk about the bonuses. I'm going to give your kid 52 weeks of mindset training for free. Because I was a suicidal, depressed, unconfident kid. And I don't know if I'd be up here today if I didn't have the right coaching and the right knowledge in front of me and the right people surrounding me. I don't know if I'd be alive today. How powerful is that? And so, my friends, you're going to get so much value out of the amazing community and the coaching that I do every single week, but you're going to also love the peace of mind knowing that your kid is going to get weekly mindset coaching from the man himself. I've been through a lot of challenges in my life, and so I had to create systems and courses to eliminate all the challenges in your life as well. And so, my friends, you're going to love the benefits. You're going to love the community. You're going to love the inner circle. And what you're going to want to do, they posted a link. Go ahead and fill the application for the first 5-year calls with me. The rest, you're going to get on a coaching call with my advisors and my team. They don't have a certain amount of time, so please take action on it because you're going to love the benefits that you're going to get. And I'll end off with one more story while everybody's clicking the link and filling out their application. One more story. When I was 12 years old, I was on a road trip with my dad, and we were in Kansas. And there's not much to look at in Kansas, but we were on a road trip, and I look to my right, and I see a field full of cows. And there was the white cows, and there was the brown cows. And I got so excited, and I said, Dad, oh my God, look, there's chocolate milk cows. And he said, what? I said, yeah, look at the brown cows. Those are the cows that make chocolate milk. I was so excited. And he said, Nick, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but chocolate milk doesn't come from brown cows. Where did you learn that? I said, I don't know. It popped in my head one day. I believed it. I learned it from somewhere, and I believed it. The reason why I share that, my friends, is because right now, a lot of you in here are believing things about yourself that aren't true. That you're not a good mother, you're not a good leader, that you're not the best communicator, that you don't have the resources, that you don't have the knowledge. And I want to let you know that those things that you're saying about yourself, that you're believing, they're probably not true. And you know they're not true. And the truth will set you free. You are an action taker. You are an achiever. You're investing in yourself because you wouldn't be in this call and a part of this amazing organization if you weren't. If you agree, drop a yes in the chat. And so with that being said, my friends, remember, with the right coaching, the right consistency, and the right community, your potential is limitless. And if a man with no legs or an arm who achieved amazing things in his life isn't proof of concept, I don't know what is, my friends. So with that being said, I love you all. I can't wait to see you on the call. Stay victorious, and you are in great hands because John, Clyde, Michelle, these are all amazing leaders and all amazing people, and they have their best interests in mind. And I know you guys are going to crush 2021. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I love you all. Send in love.
Thanks, Nick. Wow. Definitely, please give some gratitude and praise in the chat box for Nick. We're going to share all that with Nick and show him how much the greater PA region loves him. You could drop the mic now, Nick. You can just drop it. Just drop it, brother, because you're amazing. You're inspiring, and you push us to be better. And that, Michelle, I think that's the theme for the whole day was, individuals just push us all to be better.
That's right.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree. It was it was so amazing having Nick here and just the rest of the team. And, John, I can't stop today without saying thank you to the amazing team of people who support us. And so Missy Hacker for all of the amazing slides and getting everything done. Missy, we appreciate you so much. Paula for running the PowerPoint, making sure the videos are going, making sure the sound is working. Paula, thank you. Amanda for making sure that everybody got where they needed to go and making sure that all of our panelists had their links and all of our leaders had the things that they needed. So I couldn't end today without thanking those 3 amazing leaders that we have supporting us every single day and really, really help the whole thing come together.
Yeah. And last but not least, Michelle, I want to thank you for putting together an amazing agenda, keeping us all online and making sure that this thing turns out like it was. I mean, I know we always say it every year, but I think it was our best yet. So, that's what I think. I don't know if you guys think that, but I do. And we want to thank you for all attending. Hopefully you enjoyed it and inspired you like it did us. And we got more to come, right? We got a lot more events. So get on that Facebook page, be involved, get involved, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.